No, I think they want you to play with them. I think they want you to be even more distracted in the show.
To be perfectly honest, we did just both say, like, yeah, we'll join, but what we're doing in a dungeon. I mean, it'll be no different to Respawn.
I know. Two of us being distracted this much will be equivalent to one.
If we're not hearing keyword clicks and distracted side tangents, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, we've got to fill the boxes of eating, clicking, and playing Destiny in the background and not actually paying attention to the show. Once we've got that fulfilled, we can then get on with the show. So if Respawn's not here, we have to invite in other people to fill in those voids. So we've got people playing the game, we've got people clicking on their mouses and keyboards covered. Have we got anybody eating? We need somebody eating. Peroty, can you cover eating?
I'm not sure.
I can do coughing.
Cover eating. Yeah, I'll say I've got coffee.
No, I can cough. I said, like he does.
Right. Yeah. No, you can handle coughing. You can also handle throat clearing. That's also your responsibility. Preferably.
No, not you. I'm doing everything.
Yeah, I've realised after the event. Sorry, I was trying to do a job there.
And Noble's got the keyboard because he's PC. So
yeah,
perfect.
That's covered.
No work for me at all. I'm redundant again.
You're good.
Every fire team I've ever been on.
Do you have a dog or a child?
No, I don't think he's got one available at this point in time. What about screaming about hunter nerfs? Can you cover that?
I'll be random and hunter nerfs.
Okay, and if the Titans get a buff, you get overexcited that they did, and you're upset.
You may need to come back here, Noble. We're all going to die.
So I think we've got all the boxes checked, Peroty. I think we can roll the titles and get on with the show.
All right, well, let's kick this pig.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Rager, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
Welcome to the show this week. We have two guests because I'm not feeling very well, so I'm going to take a little bit of a step back and let Peroty run the show. I might throw in a few interjections here, but we have our Noble. He's joined us this week to not hassle me about merchandise, and we have Blue Screen 42. He's coming to help be just as random as Respawn, because Respawn isn't going to be here this week, apparently. So yeah, there's no stream this week, so people can't hassle us live. Noble,
I'll take it.
What do you mean?
I'll take a 20-euro bet from anybody that he's going to show up.
Oh yeah. I'll just say, start your timers now, because he will absolutely show up and interject at some point. We don't know when, we don't know where, we don't know if we'll be able to hear him, but he will absolutely show up and interject something at some point in the course of this.
It's like shaving a haircut, isn't it? You could be talking away, he will pop in at just that precise moment, here's something that he either likes or doesn't like, and then has to say something, and then goes, right, I'm off, bye.
Question. Does he actually like anything?
Yes.
Hunters.
Likes his kids.
Hunters? No, I would have gone Hunters, wife, then kids. Apparently, according to my wife, it's Destiny and then her, so...
I'm pretty sure according to your wife, it's Destiny,
I don't see a problem with that one.
Destiny and then her.
Oh, okay, maybe, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Destiny takes 3 of the top 4 slots. The kids are probably in there somewhere. She probably might put one of them higher or lower on a given day, but I'm pretty sure Destiny has those first couple of slots.
Destiny notes, Destiny trivia.
So, as we have some guests this week, Peroty, should we ask them what they've been doing and enjoying in the world of Destiny this week?
I think we should, because, I mean, Bungie has apparently lost the keys to their social mediums. And other than being like, hey, there's a patch, there's some, or the game's going to go down and come back up again while we, twiddle some switches and press some buttons, they've said nothing. So they may all be out on vacation this week. They may all just be playing Marathon and ignoring the world. Who knows what they're doing? But they gave us a little tidbit, but not much else. So Have you guys been in what is definitely not Iron Banner control?
I know. I enjoyed Iron Banner last week, but didn't do it this week. 1 week was enough.
I didn't play much last week, but I tried to play a little bit this week, and I had one morning session. I can't remember which day it was. Might have been Wednesday or Thursday, where I actually had a string of really nice games. Like I had a string of games that felt competitive, where like the whole lobby felt pretty much balanced. There was like a good guy on our team and a good guy on the other team, and like there was each team had someone who had a 001 KD who either showed up late or just said, "I'm going to dip a toe in here. What's happening?" But it actually felt balanced. It actually felt competitive. And then I played later in the week in the evenings, and then I was just either getting run over by the unbroken duos on the other team, or we had the unbroken duo on our team and running other people over. And I was reminded that for all the thinking we put into what's my loadout, what are my stats, what are those little numbers on the side going. I was inspecting some of these people who were just running the lobby, absolutely destroying us. And it looks like there was a warlock. I can't remember the person's name, but it looked like they rolled out of bed, tossed some armor on, grabbed a weapon or two, and just jumped into Crucible. Like the stats were all over the place. Like there were no mods in like any piece of armor. Just like I'm going to show up and destroy these fools and then go back to bed. And it felt just a little humbling. I'm sitting here worrying about like what these numbers are and trying to get these things up. This guy's run like a 26 mobility and a 13 resilience and like I think nothing was above like 60 on any stat. Just showing up going, I'm just going to destroy you guys and peace out.
It does make me laugh when you see the YouTubers make these videos and their stats all over the place with like 30 in resilience and 20 in recovery and high mobility and high strength and things. And you're like, and they go, this is my build. I'm doing this, this, and this. And they roll into Crucible and they absolutely decimate. I roll in there with like 100% resilience, 100% recovery, and I'm still getting decimated. And I think it's just how bad I am. That's all.
Well, I had the exact perspective of that, of how bad I am, because I was interested in making a good PvP build, and Z Mushroom has a really great build. And it turns out that you can really replicate that build 100% and have nothing like the experience that he has when he plays PvP. It doesn't matter. I can't do it. They're just so good.
I just went PvP and I'm just bad.
But I did see you in PvP this week, Noble. You was playing a bit of PvP.
You did. I needed to get some solo kills so that I could reset a Pathfinder. There you go.
So that's all you did to step into PvP is okay.
Yep.
But did you enjoy your Iron Banner at the time?
I hated every second of it.
Oh.
It was just typical PvP. And I mean, I blame PvP. I say it's because the PvP in this game is bad, but it doesn't help that I'm bad.
Maybe that's the secret. Maybe we need to be rolling into PvP with the lower stats. Maybe that's what we're all doing wrong. Maybe the higher numbers actually make things worse because there's a long-standing bug in the game that the higher your stats are, the easier you are to kill. Maybe that's the secret.
Stat-based matchmaking.
That's what I was going to say. They probably did come up with a form of matchmaking.
Because it's not connection. It's not skill. It's going. We're going to find people eventually, one day. So what have you guys been up to besides slumming it in PvP, trying to get solar kills?
Lots of Chorus of One runs for people, getting people through that, doing the speed run, I don't know how many times I've been in there now, but lots of that.
Probably too many. I feel like I've been in there too many times this week because every time I do a quest, it wants me to go back in. And I really just need to start paying more attention to my quests.
Well, they're very excited about the Chorus of One. It's the biggest exotic mission they've ever released. So they want you to spend proper time enjoying every inch and every polygon and every pixel of that place.
I think somebody figured out what they mean by the biggest one they've done, because it doesn't seem like the biggest one.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because, I mean, we've expressed our views on it. Peroty, Respawn and I have all kind of talked about the exotic mission. So it'd be nice to get a different perspective from other players in the game, from Blue and Noble, and how you feel about the mission and if you've enjoyed it, and other things. Sorry, I'll let you two speak.
I do
How
like
dare you
it.
speak
Yeah,
on
I
your
think
own
it's
show.
good.
I really enjoy it. I did find an area the other day where it doesn't seem to do anything, but it seems very odd because it's within the mission, and it doesn't seem to do anything yet, and I don't know why. Because as far as I'm aware, this is the last iteration of the mission what we've currently got. But it's a really big area, and you can't get to it normally. So you know where you spawn into the mission sort of thing. But then when you get the opportunity to turn back to that area to go and collect one of the secret chests, where you spawn in, if you go up there, you can go through it. There's a room back there with, I don't even know what to call them, but it's a really, really big room with lots of great big structures in it and everything else, and it just doesn't seem to do anything. But when you first spawn into the mission, if you try and turn around and go backwards on yourself, it's a no respawn zone. No, it's not a no respawn zone. It's a turn back zone. Sorry. But when you get halfway through and you start, going into the free chest, there's a particular room that you go into, and you go straight on left and right, and you do the puzzles for the exotic catalyst, but for the upgrade pieces, like the onslaught, things like that. One of them leads you back to obviously where you start the mission. And yeah, you can turn around, go back on yourself, and there's a whole area there that wasn't there previously.
Yeah, you have to show that to me. I have no clue where that is.
Is
That's
that
a
not
secret
to
room where
do
you
with
like to
the
get some quality
secret
time.
Whisper mission that part of it, or
Oh, that's a tiny little room.
okay? I just wondered.
Yeah.
I mean, as they said, they did say it's the biggest mission that they've kind of created. Maybe there are more things to come later on, because this Echoes is going to be staying around for the next 6 to 9 months. It's not like it's going away. There could be more stuff that could have Revenant, and I can't remember the final one. Revenant and Heresy, that was it. Revenant and Heresy could have implications that take us back to that mission to then do something else, which would be really interesting to see them reutilize that space that they've created. It would show that the reason why that is the biggest mission that they've created, because it is something that has to keep going back to, because it is part of the story. I mean, it was very unique that we had to do an exotic mission over and over and over again as part of the story. Yes, we got like the different catalysts, and we got the exotic weapon, but it's kind of unique. We've never had to do that before. We've had to do maybe an exotic mission for 1 week, and then it goes back to the story, and we've got like story beats, but on separate kind of path. But
Yeah, that's the thing I
good
keep wondering
observation.
about, is if they're just gonna, sort of throw the mission out there and go, "It's the biggest thing we did," and know that we're gonna say, "No, it's not. It's there. We've been there. We've explored it," and then have that be like the set piece for something rolling out in the future. Just saying, we're gonna set this up for you. We're gonna have it be this big play space. Not that it's to be like the new, like a new social space or anything, but just like this will be the basis for this thing and that thing and the things we're going to build upon it. So I'm sort of on board with you going, it's there, and maybe they'll unlock some doors or have us run through it, or put a strike in that area and just reuse that space again. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no telling, but I do appreciate it. I think it's a good thing. It's not a dungeon, but it's got a little mechanic, got the puzzles, and the jumping's not too bad. It's frozen worthy. So.
Yeah, I will fight every boss under the sun versus trying to do jumping puzzles or figuring out where to go and things. Go here, pick the ball up, go back here, cut back here, go back over here. Not where I excel.
I just got lucky. I missed that first week where you guys got locked up. It was all fixed by the time I got there.
Yeah, that's how you play Destiny right. Just like everybody who sat in Skywatch and dutifully farmed their engrams, and so they could get that generosity quest done, because Bungie was not, and then going, yeah, we're going to fix that, because
I feel attacked right now.
That was me.
Well, I think I would say 3/4 of us and maybe 4/4 of us are sitting in that same boat going, no, we dutifully did the thing because we are suckers for punishment. Knowing full well at the same, as I'm sitting there, half idling in the space, waiting for things to show up for me to murder to get engrams out of, I'm going, I know they're going to change this. Without a single doubt in my mind, they are going to, one, say something about it, and two, make some sort of change in the near future. I know this is going to happen. And yet I am going to dutifully sit here and get it done anyway, so I can have it done.
Yeah. You called it while we were doing it. We're just like grinding away.
That is how you earn the legend title.
Yeah.
Knowing all about their silly nonsense.
I don't know if you know it, but I'm a legend. Let me wear this name tag.
Ooh.
It was obviously going to get changed, was that, but I still couldn't bring myself to move away from it. It was there, it was a thing, and I needed to do it. It's a bit like you always say, just sit it out and wait, and Bungie will just give you it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I needed it there and then, because it was there.
A bit like a Gjallarhorn being sold by Xur this week, which I saw in our Discord chat that you weren't very happy about.
I don't understand it.
Well, I'm going to explain it to you, because when you were talking in Discord and you were chatting about this, I saw a tweet come from Bungie about Gjallarhorn kind of being sold with Xur this week and him feeling very nostalgic. And I was thinking, well, okay, it ties in with the 10th anniversary because we all missed it. I mean, I missed it that first week when it appeared in Destiny 1. A lot of other people missed it that first week, and it was the go-to weapon to have. And it does make sense for it to kind of maybe once this 1 week for it to be sold by Xur and then never be sold again. So if you miss it this week, it's very nostalgic of you've missed it, you can't get it kind of thing. So I see that.
It's not having the rocket, but missing getting the rocket. I now understand.
Yes.
That makes sense.
That's what it is.
A whole new generation of gamers can feel the FOMO of missing out. That's all. That's all.
Or they can pay for the 30th anniversary expansion and go and play the dungeon to go and get the rocket launcher if they want to.
Yeah, I did say apparently, while you can get the weapon, you still need the 30th anniversary pack to do the dungeon to get the catalyst for it.
Exactly, yes.
So it's a half measure. It's going, we'll give it to you, but not as good as it could be.
It's only half baked, Noble. See, it's a tease to get you in. See, it's a double-edged sword.
It's a free-to-play Gjallarhorn.
I don't care. I still don't agree with it.
I don't think your rant is really up to the level that we're used to in this podcast. I need you to pick it up a little bit.
My rant.
Yeah, I want the spittle flying onto your mic.
Tell us how you really feel about all. Summon the rage from all of us getting our free last wish weapons and being handed the things that you have struggled for.
I know that Demon's got to edit it all, and I don't want to give him more work to do because I'm not that sort of person. Because my name's not. No, sorry, never mind. I'm not doing that far.
You can rant and use nice language at the same time, though. Exactly. Then he won't have to edit it.
It's just stupid. They haven't given any other exotic away, have they? Tell you what, get rid of him. Because that's already in the game. Why didn't they bring something back and let him feel nostalgic about something that's not there? Why didn't we get Pocket Infinity? I'd have that back. That was brilliant.
But you get Icebreaker back. Right. That's to make everybody happy.
I don't understand that either. For the same reason as what you said. Like, oh no, we don't want anything that's going to break the ammo economy. So here, have Icebreaker, the most broken weapon we ever made. Other than Invective that did the same thing.
Broken ammo economy in a single weapon. Enjoy.
It's just stupid. And all they're going to do is bring it back, make people grind for it, and then go like that, right, 4,000 of the 6,000 people left playing the game have now got this gun. So what we're going to do, because they're all having fun with it, is we're going to nerf it and we're going to make it utterly useless. And then we're just all going to be frustrated.
It's almost like you've been here a minute.
I just want new stuff. Why can't we just have new stuff?
Oh, because those people are gone.
You need employees for that.
That's true.
Well, one question I've got for you guys is that you're saying that you want new stuff. Would you be happy with stuff coming back from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2? For instance, like the PvP maps that we've kind of lost to time that have not appeared in Destiny 2 that could be brought in to revitalize the PvP area. Or develop new maps as well for PvP, as well as for Onslaught, as well as for Gambit. I think personally, if every kind of expansion or every kind of DLC that we got maybe one Gambit map, one PvP map, and maybe one Onslaught map. But Onslaught might be a little bit more easier kind of to develop because they can just take an existing PvP map and just terraform it like they did with the Onslaught maps that we had, or the 3 that we've got, and bring it into the game. If we had that, do you think that would help keep the player base playing for the time that we kind of through each DLC? Or do you think I'm just ranting and being silly?
I'm just going to throw this out there because you gave us 2 options there that were both solid options, but you missed the third one, which is the biggest one.
Go on.
They could actually give us back the maps that they took out of Destiny 2.
Yeah, those as well.
Okay, time for
You've
a
got
fourth
maps.
option, because I think that if you really want to engage the remaining player base, and we're nuts, right? We're here, we're going to be playing this anyways, is give us a way to have map editing. Give us that option in a way that was safe, that wouldn't break the game or wouldn't make it so you could exploit it in some way. Give us a playground like that, a sandbox where we get to build something, and then the community would go bonkers. It would be the one thing you could do to most energize this game, I think.
He doesn't sound like Respawn, but I'm hearing Respawn in his words.
I'm trying so hard.
Still, I'm thinking, he's all the time he's saying that. I'm sat here thinking, can you imagine if we actually got that? That'd be great, because we could get
Wouldn't it be great?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Destiny 2, because we could use it then as like one of those Sparrow map things, so we could get a Sparrow out. And then you could you could have so much fun.
It's exactly the kind of creativity that I'm talking about, where you would bring together things that they're not thinking about, because the community is enormous, and there are a lot of really clever, creative people, and it would be a blast.
Oh yeah, that was just what I was thinking about when Nitedemon was saying, hey, you could bring maps for this and that and the other. They could be the same map. You could make a big map. Everyone moaned about, hey, we got disjunction, this big map that nobody wants to play because it's too big and this and that. Make a bigger map. Make the biggest map you can dream up. And then say, over here, we can play Gambit on it. Over here, we can play PvP on it. Over here, we can play Onslaught on it. These can be some of the same places if they need to be, but make me a big, cool space, and then slice it and dice it up and say, hey, this is where I can play these different things on, or this is how we can reformat it a little bit, so we're not having to make 16 brand new maps every single time. Give me a new map where I can go play the game in all of its iterations on, and run through those new spaces, versus playing the same 3 to 4 maps in Gambit forever. Ditto for Crucible. We talk about, and Bungie talks about investment in the core playlist, investment in, the core of this game, so they're not having to make treadmill content that's here for 3 months and then gone forever. If you want me to engage with a strike, don't make me play the same strike on the same map for the 10 trillionth time. I'm so tired of it. Give me bigger maps. Give me a game where I can go and play Crucible. I can sit in Iron Banner for an entire day, for 4, 5, 6 hours, and actually see a good diversity of maps, and not go, hey, we're in Vostok for the 27th time. Hey, it's Bannerfall for the 19th time. And I know they did some of the map weighting, and that Iron Banner actually felt a little bit better in that regard, where I felt like I was actually seeing some of the new maps that I had not seen. I've been playing playlists with them in it, and just simply have never seen those new maps, not once, in those playthroughs. And then I would, but Destiny feels like it picks a favorite map, and you're going to see that map. It could be different each playthrough, but it's almost like, like the Trials code sneaks in and it goes, you're going to be in Burnout like 6 times the next 10 maps. Why? That's just where we want to put you. Are there other maps? Yeah, maybe, but we're not going to show you any of those. So just having more maps would make that feel better. Would say, hey, I've got more places to play, more interesting places to play. Bring back our maps with the outside, with the gravity. I mean, PvP is not a esports pro game thing. Give me silly maps to play on.
And they have trials. They can go to that map this week, and that's their map. Boom, 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 boom. They can perfect that, and they can min-max it. Give the rest of us just too many maps.
The thing is even if we got more maps, though, would we see them? We don't see some of the maps now. So if we had 20 maps instead of, I don't know, what have we got, 7?
You play 20 matches a year. I don't see how you can see all 20 maps.
Lucky if I play 20 matches. But, yeah, if you had that many maps, so like, it is so repetitive, would you even see all those maps? Or would it just be like, yeah, no, well, it's been 84 years since I saw that last map, like Demon logs in for his last ever game and he goes like, oh my god, look at that, Emperor's Respite's back.
And you can private match it, right? You can always go and look.
Because that's phase 2 of this is give us the maps and then continue to work on the actually showing us those maps, actually letting us play them. Again, I think they did with the map waiting, and I feel like they put that in place. I've lost track whether it's actually in the game or if it's coming in a later thing. But again, just playing Iron Banner this last week, a couple different play sessions, I was actually seeing, I didn't have the same feeling where I was like, I've been in this map over and over and over again. And I know it's always worse. Like I know I always go back and I'll look when it really feels like I've been in a map the whole time. I go back and look and it's like, okay, it actually was, not as much as it felt like. When I go back and look at the actual, post-game Carnage reports. But it just feels like I'm there all the time. And I didn't have that feeling.
Hopefully, though, with them, slowing down on smashing content out that's not necessarily always the greatest, it gives them more chance to maybe build on some PvP maps, or even just a system where we're not going to see as many of the same PvP maps all the time.
But I think the thing is with like when they announce that they've got DLCs and they've got expansions coming, I think that we really miss as Destiny players to have like even a couple of new PvP maps, or and as I said, tying that in now with Onslaught and Gambit to revitalize those kind of game modes. I think they need you can throw as many weapons as you like at us, and we will collect the weapons. We will put them in our overflowing vaults, and we will, and the same with the armor. But we need new places to go and play with these things. And yes, it's all good and well, kind of keep giving us PvE spaces to kind of go and play and play against many more enemies and things. But I think missing out on having extra maps in the areas that we can kind of play as a multiplayer game, I think that's where they're kind of missing out on keeping player bases engaged. Because if they announced that they had Destiny 2 Frontiers coming, and with each large expansion, we would get like 2 PvP maps, we'd get 2 Onslaught maps, and we'd get 2 new Gambit maps, just in those 2 big expansions every 6 months, I think people would really appreciate that, because it's something that we kind of are missing in
I'm not
the kind of.
I'd appreciate one.
Exactly. It just one, but I mean, yeah, it's
just knowing that they're coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even saying that, making a promise of you're going to have, I don't need 17 new maps, but like you guys said, we had more maps in the game until they were taken away to revamp or to whatever. Bring those back. Start with saying either make a decision to bring those maps back, or say the amount of work to make this map to where we want it to be is too much. It's not, it's not good for the game. We're going to retire this map and work on something new, and then work on something new. Again, I don't need to see them tomorrow. I'm not asking for 1,000 of them, but just like you said, let me know over the next year that I'm going to have some new maps to play. They're going to be coming. You drip feed them in, give me access to them. Give me some hope. They said all about, hey, we're going to start communicating more, even if plans aren't finalized, which is great, which is what you need to do. Like, give us a reason to keep playing this game 10 years in, or 7 years in the case of D2. But tell me what's coming, because it's hard to say what am I sticking around for.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain maps out there like Emperor's Respite was only I always say this one because this is just one that I remember. I remember it was a small map. Like, if the issue's the size of it, just rank it up a bit. Make it a little bit bigger. Surely that can't be difficult to just, stretch it a bit.
I'm leery of thinking I know how hard or easy anything they're trying to do is with respect to developing these game spaces. But
yeah,
I
as
see
somebody,
your point.
yeah, someone said online, I meant to grab it and didn't. It was like, someone who works in and around the games industry going, for everyone who says, why don't they just know that somewhere lots of people advocated for just doing that and they were shot down by somebody higher up.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I'm totally with you going, well, they just do this because it's got to be possible, but where did resources go? Because that's where I tend to think about, well, okay, well, if you're not doing this, what other things are you doing? What other things are being made, are worked on? And it sounded like, there was lots of other projects going on within Bungie that they were trying to diversify from Destiny 2, and then Marathon is still maybe going to become a thing that they'll talk about again one day, which feels weird that they just haven't at all. Going, hey, we're working on this, and we're just never going to speak to you about it again. And there's, the Destiny Rising thing that's coming out that's, been in development for years. People are screaming about that, going, oh, why are you wasting time on this? And it's like, one, that's not Bungie developing it. Two, it's been in development for years with NetEase.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always think, what have they been working on? And again, this is a massive old game. And having, again, I am by no means an expert, having just a tiny little insight into supporting a product that is 20 years old, written 20 years ago for the web. It's the number of times in a week where my manager's like, hey, can't we just do this? And I go, we could. It's going to take about 6 weeks to get done and still may not work because of how this thing was built and constructed, 20 years ago, because we're still dealing with that architecture and, the dependencies. It's like you built a really beautiful house and it has a nice foundation, beautiful window boxes, the yard's nicely mowed and landscaped, and then it's sort of like neglected over the next 20 years. And the house is still there, but there's some holes in walls, and the yard is absolutely overgrown, and there's gophers living in your garden and things. It's still there and it works, but it's rickety. It's holding on, and I just have to imagine there's a lot of Destiny that's like that, and there's a lot of stuff that we're still supporting the older console generations. Like I continue to be surprised if they don't say, "Listen, guys, it's been enough time. It's time to upgrade to something newer. We're gonna end support for the older consoles." And I just wonder how many things like that is holding them back, or agreements they made to support certain things, or what.
Yeah, to follow your analogy, like the house could be perfectly maintained, but why don't I have fiber optics in every room? To do that, I have to tear open the walls. And now, if you want to mess with the kernel of this game, what is going to propagate out of that? This thing has been Frankenstein for a decade. They keep adding things that are cool onto it and getting them to work against all odds. It has to be just a nightmare of crossed cables behind the door into the back of this programming. They must be mayhem back there.
It's all Telestos all the way down.
Telestos all the way.
I agree there's been a lot going on, but you know what, to another extent, it's been 5 years since they removed certain PvP maps. Yeah, things are a little bit different now to what they were 5 years ago, but they could also be more honest with that as well. Like, look, we can't fix that. We can't make that map better. We just can't. Instead of saying, we're going to set up a PvP strike team, right? It's going to be really good. We're going to make some really big changes to PvP. And then a year later, make no real decent changes to PvP. It'd still be an absolute turd show.
I just figured they just told the community guy that they were going to do that, and they never put resources into it.
So. Yeah, right. But I mean, if that's the case, just be honest about that as well. I'd have more respect for you if you were just honest about it. Like, look, we know we told you there was a PvP strike team, but realistically, the strike team was just a team of our developers that were on strike.
I think honest might get you fired in this world.
Yeah.
Meet Jim. He's your PvP strike team. Who's Jim? Oh, he's the guy we just hired. Does he know how to do this? No, not yet. But
we
we're
went to his
absolutely
funeral
going to
last
skill
week.
him up and get him to the point where he can do this. When? Soon.
Did you ever see that piece of art that they made? And it was a hydraulic arm. And the poor thing, literally, all it was designed to do was pull hydraulic fluid back at itself. And eventually...
That is one of my favorite art pieces, yes.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? It was brilliant. That's the bloke that's trying to fix PvP.
There you go.
That's how I feel PvP works in Destiny 2. And it's like, if that's the case, and it's just one poor guy with a squeegee, you know what I mean? Just show us him. Just be like, look, he's only 24, and he looks like Santa.
Is that they have to really clean the maps up after these matches? Is that what you're saying? That would be a terrible job.
Well, Blue. I mean, I think you just identified an obvious collaboration and spinoff. So we have the power washing game. We have the crime scene cleanup game. Why not the crime scene cleanup after the PvP matches? Somebody has to come in and clean up all the blood and guts and robot parts off the PvP maps after the games get played. Go in Tuesday. Hey, it can be a weekly event every Tuesday after trials. Go in and clean up the map.
Somebody wants that
from all the carnage.
That game. There are people out there that want that game.
I point you to a game on PC called Viscera Cleanup.
Yes, that's. I knew there was one. I didn't know what it was called, but yes, exactly.
I've played that an awful lot. It's so much fun.
Fantastic.
So Bungie, Noble's out here willing to clean up after the matches.
Yeah, give me that as a game. I don't care.
Standing by with the mop
towards my PvP stuff. Like, if I've got to get solar kills, let me have putting out solar fires. Right?
How many hammers do you need to pick up after a match to get to rank up your solar your solar scavenger mod, your solar scavenger something?
Chasing crystals everywhere.
Kill 10 guardians with solar abilities, or pick up 20 hammers. Brilliant, not a problem. I'll pick up 20 hammers.
We've got this pile of hammers and knives we need to do something with.
I think in PvP you should be able to pick up the enemy's hammer when they throw it and miss.
Hammers, axes,
knives.
So many things. Yeah, so many things just laying around after the match. Why can't you pick them up and say, no, we're going to take care of this for you. Let me keep that safe. Yeah, give the high end PvPers want something to do while they're in orbit, waiting for matches to be made. There's your mini game. You don't need to go work on your aiming or whatever. Play the Destiny cleanup mini game.
The more you clean up, the further ahead you get in the queue. It's good.
Exactly. It's the service guarantee citizenship model.
Yes.
Yeah, there are bugs.
I do feel sorry for PvP though. I really do. I'm not a PvP player, but I do feel bad for it. However, I was thinking the other day, and I can now mention this somewhere. We've unsunset all those weapons that we did sunset. We've brought Luna's Howl back and made it so that it's actually not that good in PvP, but hey ho. But why don't we, if we're going to unset the weapons, why don't we bring the quest line back for Not Forgotten? For the people that haven't got it. Take it out of the vending machine in the tower and let people have the quest line for Not Forgotten back.
I mean, the new lights are already flooded. Like they've got so much to do. They have to hurl engrams at them just to help them get armor.
Yep. But you could also let the existing player base go after it by simply putting an origin trait on it.
Oh, I see.
We get all these weapons back now. What have we got back at the minute? Martyr's Retribution and Breach Light and things like that. And they're just legendary weapons. And they've just put an origin trait on them. But other than that, they're just the same weapons. Why not do it with Not Forgotten?
Because somebody forgot about it.
Yeah, because it is forgotten. I don't know what perk you could put on there, but you could put something on there,
Just stick a perk on there where I can take your sniper bullet, load it in the Not Forgotten, and just fire it back at you. If you fire a Jotun at me, let me capture that. So let me overcharge my weapon with the Jotun solar. Parry parry to block it and fire it back at you.
I mean,
because I want PvP to be absurd.
You could put
Destiny's PvP wants to be ridiculous. Let it be ridiculous.
You could put something like a watered down version of heel clip on there or something like that, you know what I mean, to stop it being too ridiculous. But give them something to chase again. Give them something to go after again. PvP players, to be fair, have been treading water for so long, I'm surprised that these poor guys have even got the ability to move their legs.
And this is said as someone who's played every part of this game forever. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like we end up having these same conversations because it's just we've been here forever. We've put countless thousands of hours into this game, and are very much happy to be here and continue to do it. But you need to give us something to make the investment worth it, something to go after. Like there's, I think we mentioned before, people are no longer saying, well, I need to go get this. So I can take it into here and do this with it. I need to go get this exotic or finish this quest to get this weapon so then I can go do blah with it. Now it's just, hey, I need to get this so I can check the box so I can have it and then go back to what I was doing.
I mean, they're listening to you. You have two exotics that are insane to go after. Ergo Sum and the exotic class items. You got 64 class items. Right? It's nuts. I have not got a good roll on 3 characters with dozens and dozens of those things. So, I mean, there's stuff to go after. Wouldn't you say?
There's stuff to go after, but at what point does it feel like you're grinding for a grind that will never happen? At some point, does it feel like this is never going to happen? Why am I doing this? Or are you still motivated to continue to go after it?
The sword, they hit the line there for me. The sword was a big grind, but I was able to get what I wanted. The class items, being able to focus those can't come soon enough to me. It was a big mistake to not have some form of focusing when that came out, because I agree. I do it sometimes because I run out of things to do, and then I just get frustrated again. It's like, oh look, it's another really terrible roll. So I think it's between those two. I think just the sheer, RNG is going to be RNG, and the number of bad choices for the class items far outstrips that for the Ergo Sums, in my opinion. So that's where the sweet spot was.
I mean, we're talking about the class items. It's 64 options. It's 3 characters. I'm not good at maths. 172.
Listen, we play this game so we don't have to math. Spreadsheets only. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of options.
192. God, I was a whole 20 off there. That's that British school system there for you. Come to Britain. So with those alone, you're talking, say you get it down to a good time, you're talking 22 minutes a run?
Yeah.
Well,
sure. And
you've got if you get somebody. If you're by yourself, you have to just open chests and hope that you're going to get lucky.
Yeah. And there's 192 of them to collect at 22 minutes a run, and you're not guaranteed to get. It's just too much.
In their defense, the first run of the week you get 2, so that's the massive savings.
I feel like it wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't such. I mean, I really enjoy the Dual Destiny. I think it's absolutely brilliant, but I just think it's lacking reward.
Well, they did double it. I mean, they're trying.
I felt like when you could cheese it, like you did it with like 2 Titans, 2 Warlocks, 2 Hunters, whatever. It was much better then because you were getting 2. So if it were taking you 22 minutes, it's like, well, it's 11 minutes each. That's not bad, realistically,
Every week you can do 1 run on each class. It's the same deal. You get 2.
Even that only happens once. When you could do it back to back, it wasn't too bad. That's what I'm saying. When you could do like 5 or 6 runs and get, 10, 12 of them, that wasn't too bad. When you're doing 5 or 6 runs and getting 7.
I don't know what it is about that put people off so strongly. There are a lot of people who are really daunted by it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was not easy. It was a lot of fun. I mean, now that you have a parody, I think we're good, right?
Timers put a lot of us off of it. I will do many things, and I will drag anybody through anything without a timer on it. You put a timer in it, I'm automatically less interested in doing this. And it's because it's never a mechanic. And again, this is speaking for myself. It's never a mechanic I've enjoyed. Like, I will absolutely go bring down the biggest bad in the world. I will go through multiple damage phases. I will go do your mechanics, whatever they may be. I'm not interested in being timed. I want to be successful and not have to be fast and successful. I put a white mechanic on it. Like the raid tab. Hey, if you don't do this in enough time, we're going to enrage and we're going to say, okay, try again. We're going to time you out at some point. Things should have timers overall. That's fine. Some kind of mechanic. But having that ticking clock doesn't do it for me. Just makes me nervous. Makes me make mistakes. Which again is the entire point. I understand, but it's just never something I've enjoyed. Especially when I'm going. Like I sat down with Pan the other day, and it's like he's like, "Could we maybe do the dual Destiny?" And I'm like, could we? Yes. Could we, in the 2 hours we have, while I remember all the ins and outs of it, and be successful with it? Maybe. Now, could we do Chorus of 1 and knock that out? No problem. Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely remember my way through that, and we can be successful with it. Got it done on the first try. There's something just about the, hey, you've got a set amount of time. I've got a set amount of time before we have to go be adults elsewhere. Can I do something where I know I can be successful with it? Or do I want to roll the dice going, we can probably get this done, but there's a better than good chance that we may not be able to get this done in the time we have. And now we've spent all of our, 2 hours on a Saturday morning doing this for nothing, for no reward out of it. And yeah, maybe we're better next time so we can go knock it out in one go, but some of it's just the time investment of going, hey, I've got this time now and I want to go play this game and feel like I'm getting something back out of it versus playing the game and going, well, that was fun to bang our head against the wall, and now I have to go do it again at another point, and I'm no better off for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The time versus reward, it's the same, it's the same kind of thing as what I was getting at. I don't feel like it's rewarding enough for the time it takes. You don't feel like it's rewarding enough because, yeah, it's just not. And I wouldn't mind, but I don't know. I'd have liked to have seen different perks on a lot of them. Like, I know I said to you the other day, I'd have absolutely loved to, as a Titan, to be able to get Lion Ramparts on one, just so that I could have, a silly amount of jump.
Yeah, that's...
And I feel like, for me, some of them, I just look at some of the options and I think, just what's the point in that?
0 of 2. I look at those perks and go, neither of those are things I want. Why do I now have both of them on a single piece of armor?
Try it. You'll like it.
We call that the blue screen experience. Yeah, I mean, there's... again, and speaking, again, I basically have abandoned my Warlock this season. I've just been playing with the Titan because time and investment, and I just can't be bothered to unlock all the things again. Looking at the possible loot pool of things and going, like there's some combinations out there I love, but just like blue, I'm going, but will I ever see it? And then I got, I lucked into having the Spirit of Severance and Spirit of Contact roll when I did the proper dual Destiny mission with blue, because he gave up his opportunity for a good one to give me a good roll on it, or at least a good enough roll. I mean, at least it's something with a little bit of synergy between the two, because every other one I've gotten from a chest or bought from Xur has been just weird or just garbage, or things that as a Titan I can't spec into. Like I have one that's Syntheseps and Spear of the Assassin, where finish and power melee's final blows grant invisibility. What can I do as a Titan to take advantage of invisibility? And Respawn will sit here and scream, yeah, but then you can be invincible and do this and do that and the other. Which, yes, I understand the utility of invisibility. Great. But if I'm building my character, what does that give me? Like there's so many verbs, there's so many things I can take advantage of. And yes, I understand, and just being invisible has its merits. 100% on board with you on that. But if I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I'm going to build my entire character around this exotic because that's what I'm running. That's what I'm trying to build around. Where's the synergy in the rest of my character with this perk? And they're give me a way to build into that. If you're going to offer it as a perk to me, let me do something useful with it other than say, yep, you can be invisible. Well, yeah, I can play with a hunter and be invisible too, and then use a better exotic.
I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but that is spoken from the brain of a Titan.
100%.
You have a Titan brain. Like, what level is your hunter right now? It is 1900, right? How did it get to 1900? It got pushed along season after season to 1900. Because there's this thing about survivability that's not entirely related to brute strength. It makes me curious to talk about some of the changes that are coming for Titan, but I'll wait until that part of the show because that's going to be exciting. But yes, that's invisibility is good. It is useful.
That's why I'm heavily caveating this, because I know Respawn and others are screaming at me going, you numbskull, invisibility is the point. If you can dodge a brick, you can dodge a ball. If you can't see the person you're throwing the dodgeball at, you win because you can't hit them. Yeah, I know there are people screaming at their whatever listening device they're using right now going, no, you moron, invisibility is very good. But yeah, no, 100% my Titan brain, I'm going, you give me verbs to build into. You've given me these 3.0 subclasses. Let me take advantage of them. Let me set them on fire. Let me use my void verbs. Let me put detonators on your chest.
Strike. There's synergy in that, right? They're both like you take an action and you get these two benefits. I mean, that's good.
They are. But it's way more fun to blow people up or watch them have lightning bolts go between them. Which is also the Abrams part of my brain going, I want to see the lens flare and the big explosions happen.
Yes.
I will admit that I've got Severance, and Symphoseps is the one that I generally use. I've never actually seen Severance even work.
You just have to believe that it works.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've thrown mini hammers at things and then stood there looking at it, and it's like, you're dead, but there was no explosion. What's going on?
You just have to believe in your heart of hearts that it's doing something.
Your melee has to be strong enough to kill a thing, but not everything, and then the explosion kills the other thing.
Well, and to be fair, it's also very hard to tell with the consecration. When you're setting things on fire, you're going, are you exploding or just bursting into flame? What's the difference between exploding and bursting into flame, really?
These are what you think about while you watch all of them die. Severance is good. Love it.
Well, those guys aren't here anymore. I wonder how they died. Don't know.
Gonna make filling out the paperwork difficult.
Cause of death? Yes.
All of it. Fire related. Thermal.
When they're all dead, don't worry, right? You use your Severance, and when everything's dead, it's fine. I'll come by later on, and I'll pick up the hammer so that I can finish off my Pathfinder. I'll put the fire out. It's not a problem. Just don't make me play PvP.
Yes, and Blue, to answer your question, Hunter's at 1917 only because of the artifact power. 1900 armor across the board.
Perfect.
So shall we get into this week in Destiny Land so we can, no one of you is going to have to scream about all the Titan changes coming because someone's going to have to take up the mantle of all the poor hunters that have just been nerfed into the ground because I don't know about you guys, I haven't seen a single hunter play Destiny. They're all gone.
I'm just here for your moral support, Peroty, in case the hunter shows up to beat you up. That's all I'm here for today.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, in Iron Banner, I didn't see a single hunter because they just been nerfed so hard. Literally, no one plays hunter anymore. They've all hung up their gloves and they're throwing knives and went home. Every last one of them.
Good. I'm glad. I hate hunters in PvP.
Well, it might be the Titans will finally have a use for a hunter if they can actually develop aggro. That could be a thing.
I just want my barricade to hurl not obscenities at the other players, but just like Monty Python-esque taunts. That was really what was going through my head. Is the barricade just just screaming that your mother smells of elderberries? Like that's the level of taunting I want. That's what I want people to hear, just very very quietly. Like maybe just out of like one speaker, sort of like if they have the surround going, like in the back left channel, be like, your mother smells of elderberries. You suck at this. Every time I deploy my barricade, that's what I want.
I will pay cash for an ornament that makes my barricade look like a battlement on a French fort.
Bungie, if you want money, if you want all the silver and all the land, give me a way to buy taunt packs for my barricade. I will throw money at the screen so fast just to know that I can have my barricade either scream or whisper things to other players while I'm playing the game. That's all I want.
Even if it was at the tower, I would love to just
100%
stand behind a barricade and hurl insults.
Every time I listen to a strike, I wanted to yell encouragement at my team and mild harassment at the other team. Just no matter what I'm doing.
The barricade shacks pack.
Yes. The barricade is the inspiration you need in life.
Nobody talks trash like the Drifter, though.
I'll be honest, if I want my character to do anything when I pop a barricade, it's just, I want it to stand there, Monty Python, and just tell the opposite player that it's just a flesh wound.
That would be good. Just your torso sitting on the floor of the tower. Come over here, I'll bite your legs off.
Run away! Run away! Well, now that we've all outed ourselves from being definitely of a certain generation, this week at Bungie for the 19th of September, we've got new insights. Next week we'll have new dev insights. Improved rewards for Nightfalls and Lost Sectors, power band increases, a preview of the next big ability update, the literal Nerf gun, not the Nerf guns are going to nerf in game. The first art show the Nitedemon is eagerly waiting his chance to go to. Bungie Foundation at TWitchCon and chilling with them in orbit. Actually, Blue, are you close enough to the other art show out in LA?
I can get down to LA. I don't have plans to. Will it be before or after I get a review from Nitedemon?
I think before. I've seen pictures from one of them, and I don't remember. It may be going on.
I think
now.
London's last, unfortunately, Blue.
Yeah, London's last. I know. I think it's LA, then New York, then London. I haven't really been tracking because, again, I don't have the ability to go to any of them when it's up. But I've seen some pictures, and I think they actually have some in the TWAB this week going, look at all the pretty things. And Demon, I don't know if you've been seeing people on Twitter with the pretty things they've bought and the ghost shells that you can paint yourself and all the other things that they've come home with.
No, I want to go and be surprised. So
you should. Okay,
yeah, I saw some of the pictures in the TWAB, and I was like, "Oh, I'll save myself just in case."
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you were remaining pure and unbroken of what's going to be there, but you should absolutely go. There's some delicious things that my wife, though she does not care about Destiny, I think would appreciate from an arts perspective and going, that's cool, I want one of those. So you should absolutely go.
Bummer, it's only open tonight and tomorrow now. Tomorrow's the last day. I don't think I'm making it.
You have the opportunity to get, if you get in the car now, there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. And then you could podcast from the car, which again would be in keeping in strict quality control of the show. 2 for 2.
Not a bad choice. I don't think I'll make it.
No. California traffic, absolutely not.
I'll be honest, somebody talked about food earlier on, and I have just spent the last 10 minutes looking at my phone thinking, I really want some food. I'm contemplating making an order. Just
found
so I could be the person sat here reading.
I don't know how
Somebody
much
has to-
editing you want to do. I found a YouTube page with 10 hours of eating sounds.
just that schmucking sound.
Did I mention that I'm not feeling very well at the beginning of the show?
just sprinkle that in the background periodically, Nitedemon. Just add some chewing to some of the parts. Well, Bungie tells us, hey, this week, they're going to tell us all about the things they told us last week, and tell us that save the date because next week's Dev Insight is coming. They told us that they have more Dev Insights in the coming weeks, and they really meant it. So on Wednesday, September 25th, we'll have a new article delivered directly by the D2 developers, focused on answering some questions you all have about Codename Frontiers. Patience is a virtue, so for now, go, read the previous, they say 3 articles, but really 5 articles that they already told us about. Now they say an article, like a singular article. Do we think it's going to be 1, or do we think it's going to be like, hey, here's 5 more to come and read come Wednesday?
No, it's 1, but broken into 5 separate pieces that they'll be on different pages.
Mm-hmm. All dropped at the same time. So
everyone
who's going to read them live can go, all right, we're going to knock out the short novella of information they've dropped. Okay.
Exactly.
Perfect. Let's see. There's upcoming reward changes. Who doesn't love rewards? So with episode Revenant, now I made a little cheat sheet because in my brain, Revenant. So beginning October 10th. So Revenant is going to go October 10th to October 8th. Because I can't read what I wrote.
Yeah,
I saw the 10 in February and got excited.
See, Americans, get it the other way around, and then you won't make this mistake.
Well, no. See, it's even worse because I wrote down OCT 8 and then FEB 10. But I can't. Yeah. No. See, it's literally just a literacy issue, not a direction of things issue. And also, you're also incorrect because it's year, then month, then date. Jesus. Then day is a proper time format.
I give up.
You're all wrong. So yes, Revenant will run from October 8th to February 10th is when Revenant, and then Heresy comes February 10th to June 15th of next year. So come Revenant time, which is launching October 8th, we leave you with the incredibly capable hands of the team. We're going to have some economy updates because who doesn't love economy updates? So first, the drop chances for non-adept weapons have been increased in Advanced, Expert, and Master Nightfalls when earning Platinum and Gold tier upon completion. And with this change, the non-adept Nightfall weapons are now guaranteed to drop when you complete a Platinum run in a Master Nightfall and a 50% chance, that's 50% chance, to drop in a Gold completion. Which is a good change, because while I haven't run a ton of Nightfalls, I feel like I've run a bunch in a row and just gotten nothing for my troubles, and we've gotten Platinum every time.
Yeah, in addition,
don't lie, you got some snipers the other week.
Well, yes.
Those were adept.
But those were the adept ones. And so in addition, our adept weapon drops from the Grandmaster Nightfalls have been slightly increased when getting gold completions, although Platinum remains the best course of action for earning the guaranteed drop. And it will actually be doubly guaranteed on a weapon you do not want, which is my experience. So I will absolutely get those double snipers every time, but nothing else that I care about. Yeah, we just spent the last hour talking about investment in gameplay. If I'm going to run a bunch of Nightfalls and I don't have a buddy to run them with, and I'm just loading into the thing, it's nice to give me a chance to actually get something out of it, versus just going, I could run 6 of these in a row and I get nothing out of it. I can't. I think it's the wild style I haven't even unlocked because it just will not drop for me. I'm running this, I'm completing these, and it's just going, no, you didn't. These aren't for you. So I'm happy to see that change of just, again, you want me to play the game, you want me to grind things, give me a glimmer of hope of getting what I'm grinding for.
I like the focusing coming up.
Yeah, so Zaval's got some focus decoding. We'll also receive a minor update in regard to Nightfall weapons. So for the featured weapon and the adept version of the featured weapon has been moved, you guessed it, to the new featured category with the updated costs. So your weekly featured Nightfall weapon will be 1 Vanguard Engram and 1 Nightfall Cipher. And your weekly featured Adept weapons will be 1 Vanguard Engram, 50,000 Glimmer, and 10 Nightfall Ciphers. Now, are they going... now, the Nightfall Ciphers, are those the ones you get from doing GMs? Or am I conflating out with something else?
Yes, and you can only hold 10 in your inventory. So when you've got your 10, you have to spend them. Otherwise, you can't get any more.
Yeah, so you have to buy that well, I don't say have to. You can buy your weekly Adept Nightfall weapon, or you can, roll the dice on 10 non-Adept versions if you have 10 of them, because they cost 1 each.
The economy is just not there to spend 10 on an Adept one. It's not 10 times better. And you're only going to get a random roll anyways.
Yeah, but you can focus it on a bad roll that you're going to throw away again. I at least appreciate them moving into a feature category so you know which thing, because again, unless you're watching a British man tell you every week what the Nightfall weapon is or what's coming up, the game doesn't do a good job of telling you what it is you're going to play for. You have to ask a friend or go watch a video to figure it out. So it's nice seeing them putting things into the game that explain what you're going to get in the game.
Does it not tell you every week when you do that pop-up message thing?
No, ever since the layoffs. They
laid off the pop-up message guy. Oh? There's also a greater than average chance that you may hit a button on your controller before you read the pop-up message because you're not expecting it, and then it's gone forever. And there's nowhere you can go to then gain that information back. There's no little calendar you can visit in the tower to say, hey, what were you trying to tell me this week? What are things up? There's no menu I can go to or node on my character I can hover over to say, hey, here's all the bonus things this week. Here's what you should go be playing.
Yeah. Well, apart from our video that we put out each week.
Like I said, there's a nice British man that will tell you things.
Yeah. I could tell you things now. I could put that in the podcast now, couldn't I?
You should. And then again, roll your dice because one piece of information will be incorrect. Not because Nitedemon got it wrong, because Bungie will change it between now and next week. We won't tell you which one because we don't know.
But the other week when I said to you that there was a challenge to get solar kills, and normally when they have the solar kill, looking back in the history, they put up Team Scorched, and then they put something like what was it? It was Supremacy. They put in Supremacy. Last week they put in this week they've put in Team Scorched. I'm like, well, that's a week too late, and in the schedule it should have been something else. So I give up. But yeah, caveat: they do change things. This is your weekly rundown of the final shape, week 17, starting on September 24th. With us only 2 weeks away from the end of the episode, don't forget to collect all of your episode's Echoes Pass items, any past Season of the Wish rewards from Bungie.net, plus your reward track items and engrams from the tower vendors before the end of the episode. Failsafe in the helm should stay untouched, meaning you can save your engrams and carry on your progression in the next episode. You can also hoard some bounties that are still available to get a leg up on XP and artifact progression for the next episode. And speaking of the next instalment, episode Revenant arrives on October 8th. But before that, we still have a vast amount of activities and events you can do until then. We have the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, where each class can grab a free new armor set directly inspired by early concept art of Destiny 1, called Veteran Legend, plus a new emblem called Decennium. Also, by completing several quest steps, Guardians can earn a new title and seal called Legend. The new exotic mission Encore is still available in the Helm for a weekly pinnacle, with 2 difficulty options, Normal and Expert. Completing the mission will award you with a new craftable exotic void command frame auto rifle Choir of One, and finding all the hidden chests and secrets throughout will award you with the 3 crafting trait options. Also available for Mac 2 we have the 3 new battleground activities, Delve, Conduit and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable in the Helm from Act 1. The Expert Battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Conduit. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The final Straits cooperative focus campaign mission this week will be Descent. The 12th Guardian Matchmaking Excision mission is also available next to the raid for a weekly pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting you the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The featured Onslaught map this week will be Vostok, with the Seajook Ogre kicking off the boss rotation. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has a Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Bloodwell features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sicarus and Ferricus. The Ascendant Chant will be the Chimera Garrison over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector. On the moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare Resortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Tanix, Isolation, Zydron, Servitude, and Ghoul Rage. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Korodis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide's Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. Days of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Cabal, Taken, and Korota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 3. Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with the Arc Grenade Launcher, Tarnation, and Vazul Solar Scorn Chieftain as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Breakneck, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex Incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. The Master Salvation Judge Raid Challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Verity, called Varied Geometry. The Korota's End Raid Challenge this week should be the 2nd encounter, Cross the Bridge, called Precarious Balance. The Root of Nightmares Raid Challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Totems, called The Grass is Always Greener. The Vow of the Disciple Challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Rogue, called Looping Catalyst. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle for You. The Deepstone Crypt Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies. And the Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Spy Defense, called A Link to the Chain. Your Pinnacle Raid will be the Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for each encounter, with the Exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices being farmable from the final boss. The Pinnacle Dungeon will be the Pit of Heresy on the Moon, and the Exotic Mission Rotator will be Operation Seraph Shield, with the Revision Zero Exotic Pulse Rifle being the main reward. The Season of the Ceres weapon set, and Icarus weapon set, with the Warmind's Avatar armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. We have now had all 116 challenges over the first 15 weeks of the episode. So, as a reminder, if you complete 110 out of the 116, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Concealed Void on Europa, Wednesday the Conflux on Nessus, Thursday Thrillerdrome on Neptune, Friday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Saturday Veil's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Sunday Exodus Guard 2A on the Cosmodrome, and Monday the Broken Deep in the Pale Heart. Our 17th featured Nightfall will see us face off against Kargan the Technocrat in the Insight Terminus on Nessus, with the Warden's Law hand cannon being the featured adept weapon. Control will be in the 6v6 playlist, Momentum Control should be in the Party Relentless playlist, Showdown in the 3v3 playlist, with Trials of Osiris returning at the weekend. There should also be bonus Trials ranks available all weekend long. Plus, don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 17th week of the Final Shape.
And now you know what's coming up next week. And I will harken back to Arc Week, when they said it's Arc Week, and then gave us all the perks that weren't using Arc. So again, the team in charge of the calendar and the team in charge of the promotions do not speak. But now it's time for everybody's favorite updates. Lost Sector rewards, because who doesn't love going to Lost Sectors?
Oh, you might now.
That's a big might. So let's see. So starting in Revenant, the world pools will be farmable in Lost Sectors the very season they're added to the game. Previously, you had to wait until the next season or episode, or whatever we're calling them this week, to launch in order to obtain them. So it will continue to rotate daily, with the table shown below for the rotation for Revenant. Now, will it remain this? Who really knows? So Group 1 is going to be your Ross Arago 4, your Truth Teller, your Yaravit MG4, and your favorite weapon, the Redacted.
Redacted.
I really hope I get a God Roll Redacted. Group 2 is going to have the Marcado 45, your Adverse Possession 4, your Dead Gramarye 4, and a Redacted, because no group will be complete without Redacted. Group 3 is your Crux Termination 4, Controlling Vision, Mahas, M-A-A-H-E-S, HC4, and a Redacted. And then Group 4 will be your Parabellum, the Domino, Spectrum 4FR, and a Redacted. Is the Domino a sniper rifle? Is that why I don't know what that is?
Yes.
So, you said that,
That
and
makes sense.
suspect him, and I just thought, is that what we're doing? Is that a Harry Potter thing? What's going on there?
The Parabellum is the submachine gun that everybody seems to like this season. The Domino is the sniper rifle, and the Suspectum is the linear fusion rifle, I believe.
Yes.
Crux Termination, is that the fusion? I think that might be the fusion rifle.
Not a rocket.
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
that was
no, the
a
rocket launcher. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the rocket
Yeah, I
launcher.
feel like that's
sorry.
an arc rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
controlling
it's
vision's your sidearm. The Mahi's HC4, I'm assuming, is a hand cannon because of the name.
I do like a Ross Argo Void Auto Rifle. Get some really good perks on that, and it'd be nice to kind of go somewhere and actually farm it.
Yeah,
But I feel that they did change. They did say that they were going to rotate weapons in and out of lost sectors, but they hadn't actually kind of told us what the updated weapons were for like the final shape. Because before the final shape, we had a set list of 4 weapons that were in there on like the daily rotation. So say Tuesday it would be on rotation 3, Wednesday would be rotation 4, and it would keep going round every single day until you kind of got back round again. So you knew what was in there. And then with the final shape, I don't believe that they actually told us what was actually in there. And I don't think anybody's actually found like a tried and tested way of putting out a list there. There could be that I've kind of missed, but I vaguely remember Cool Guy talking about it on either a podcast or on one of his videos, saying it's quite hard to give you guys a list of what's actually in the lost sectors to say, right, this is what this one is for group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. But it's nice that they're actually telling us that these are going to be the ones. We just need to find out what the redacted ones are for next season, and then we can kind of tell the rest of the Guardians what's available.
Yeah, I was hoping when I read this at first that they would say, hey, like, Monday will be redacted, Tuesday will be your Yarvit, Wednesday is your Truth Teller, and Thursday is your, Raw Sargo, and it would rotate around. Which still seems like you've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting something. But, say if you're trying to get your Truth Teller roll, I've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting a Truth Teller when I do a Lost Sector, which still may not be a good roll, and still may not be what I want at all. So I was really hoping I could, a little bit further focus it down and say, hey, this is Truth Teller Day. Hey, this is Leg Day. I'm going to get legs. It's most likely going to be this, which I guess has always been, now that I'm talking myself into it, always been Lost Sectors going, it's Leg Day. You're going to get some legs. Hey, it's 1 of 4 weapon day. You're going to get one of these 4 weapons.
In farming, 1 in 4 is pretty generous. But I'll say, none of these have broken into a loadout. Are any of you using any of the weapons besides
Ross Argo 4 is the only one because, again, you can get some fun perks on it. But even then, it's one I was really excited about and thought I would use a lot more. And then they released rocket sidearms into that slot, which has kind of blown away everything else in that second slot for me.
Until Acquire 1.
Honestly, even the Choir of 1, it's fun. And to be fair, I don't have the full, unlocked, fully crafted one. I have the crafted one, but even then, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel exotic. It doesn't feel exciting to use. I can't quite put my finger on it. It feels like I'm using just another Void auto rifle. I don't know, maybe I'm holding it wrong, but it just doesn't excite me.
Special ammo auto rifle in Void. It obliterates everything. And there's ADS and hipfire, which you have to play with because those are 2 different things. The weapon itself has 2 different modes. It's a beast in everything. It's good for all content. Choose a sniper and a shotgun and a Calesto. Crazy.
Crux Termination 4 is also a really good rocket launcher. That rolls with some really good stuff.
Yeah, I believe you can get bait and switch and whatever that auto loading app. I have not.
Yeah. I've got one with tracking module and reconstruction on it, which isn't a great roll. But I've got another explosive light and slide shot, which for some reason it's use slide shot on your rocket launcher, which I can understand, but not something I think of using. Yeah, I mean the perk pools or the weapon pool is decent on, but yeah, there's nothing I think that's really going to make people drool. I think the headline is they're going to give you the new weapons. The 4 redacted we read will be 4 brand new things where instead of going, oh, go play the game and they're in the loot pool, and they're in the world loot pool, good luck. Like Blue said, having a 1 in 4 drop on, hey, the brand new, assuming one or all of these weapons are good enough to go chase, hey, there's a new hand cannon, there's a new auto rifle. Hey, there's a hot new fusion rifle. You've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting rolls of it every single time you go into the air, which would give you something to go into a Lost Sector for, since they took away the here's where you get your new exotic armor. I haven't even thought about a Lost Sector. I have a quest or two that's like, go in a Lost Sector, and I'm like, if I have to, but I'm again so burned out on Lost Sectors. When it was go do Lost Sectors for this, I'm like, why? They're boring. Give me a twist. Put headbands on the Fallen or something. Put them in bikers jackets or something. Give me something interesting to go do. At least something visual, because I'm so tired of doing it.
I was actually looking through the seasonal challenges the other day, looking at which ones I hadn't done, which was quite a lot. But I noticed then that I hadn't done a Lost Sector at all this season, and I thought, that's really bad. But then I suppose that is... No, I mean like on expert and stuff like that, not just a standard Lost Sector. And I thought, but I suppose that's part and parcel. If they're going to stop us from having to be in there, well, what else is there in there for me?
Yeah, what am I going to grind? Yeah, there's a chance of some other weapons, but I honestly much rather go play the game at some point and just go, maybe you'll give me that weapon versus doing a Lost Sector over and over and over. I mean, and they're quick, they're very farmable, especially once you run them a time or two and go, I can knock these out, no problem. But it's just, and at least I guess with this weapon pool, you could farm them with friends, because that was sort of the the good and the bad about the exotic armor was you had to do it solo to get the chance of the drop. These you could go in with a group of 2 or 3 of you and knock them out in 5 minutes. Just blow through them like they're nothing. So what do we think about our power band being increased? Our power experts are going to share with us a lot of words about Fireteam power, and we have lots of thoughts and feelings. Your floor is 1900 still, so my hunter stays where he is. Your soft cap's 1950, powerful cap 2000, and hard cap and pinnacle is now 2010. So you got 10 more power to chase? Are you guys all sitting at the current power cap now?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Last season, last, whatever you want to call it, last expansion, like during whatever that was, then before the final shift, when they did that, it really annoyed me. I was like, it's given me less to do, because I feel like I don't have to do anything anymore, because I'm just there. Every start of every new season, it was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't need to go and do the dungeon. I don't need to go and do a raid. I don't need to go and do nightfalls, strikes, whatever, to get these pieces of pinnacle gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. And I said it to Demon a few times. Like, I miss it. Like, I want something to do. I want a reason to have to go and do things.
Yeah.
And now they're putting it back in, and I'm like, oh, can I be bothered?
Yeah,
there's no pleasing some people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right? That's sort of the like, and we've had some conversation like that's sort of the like you get on the treadmill, you build the habit of going, okay, the new season's come out, this is going to drop, okay, I need to go and get my power up, I need like you sort of have those like here's the things I need to do to get ready to go do the harder content. This is how Destiny has taught me to play it. This is the loop I go play. I go do this, I get my power up, I go in here. I run my pinnacles every week. When you take that away, it sort of breaks the habit of, I got lost in Destiny. I got, it sort of gets you off that treadmill and going, well, I don't want to go back to the gym. It's really nice just hanging out here on the couch. I can sit here and just, reach into my pantry for snacks. Why would I go back to the gym or go out to the store to get new snacks? I got plenty of snacks right here.
Yeah, and I've been feeling this way. Like, I understand why they're kind of doing it. It's because they want to try and keep people playing the game to get the pinnacles to increase their power level. But I was thinking about this, like, what do we actually need our artifact for? Because once you reach that pinnacle power, you're pretty much kind of at power to do Grandmasters. You can do raids, trials, because the trials doesn't take into account your artifact. There's nothing for that artifact to do. So if they hadn't put these changes in, we'd have just been kind of grinding that artifact, just to get like our pass done and things like, and to unlock some of those mods and things. But apart from that, that artifact doesn't hold any kind of purpose anymore because we are too powerful as guardians to do these activities. And it's just another way of increasing it. Sorry?
The artifact with all the mods in it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tuning you have to do with the mods.
I'm not disputing the mods. I'm saying the power that it gives you is really redundant, because if you've hit the pinnacle power, you can still walk into a Nightfall at 2000 and still destroy things. Even like Grandmasters, I mean, you see some people just going really under light and still being able to kind of complete these Grandmasters. You can walk into a raid and complete the raids. It doesn't seem to hold any kind of...
Well, there are things that are capped, right? Where you go in and it doesn't matter what your light was and they'll cap you. And there are other things that aren't. And when you say some people, like Z Mushroom goes in naked to PvP and slaps people around, I need more light. But the thing that I think is the biggest game-changing thing is where you're sharing the light. So if you go into something with Noble, you're going to be at a negotiated light level that's based on his light. So you don't even have to go to the gym ever. You just got to hang out with the guy who goes to the gym.
I don't go to the gym no more. I'll be honest. Like, I just put my big shoulder on and then hope that my big shoulder's good enough and we can go places. I don't. What am I this season? Plus 17. I don't even care anymore. But I look at the challenges and I just think,
gone to the gym.
What's the point? I used to live in the gym, didn't I? For the power level bonuses, but I don't see the point in them anymore because I am in the same. I agree with Demon. I don't need it. What's it here for? It's pointless. There's a couple of things that aren't power capped. Even strikes. You can't even overpower strikes anymore.
No. It used to be you had to be at pinnacle power to kind of do your trials, because it didn't take the artifact into consideration. And the same with Iron Banner at the time. And Iron Banner's been kind of, made redundant with that. Trials, barely. I mean, the scaling for like between 5 and 10 difference in light, it's very marginal these days with how they kind of scale that. So if people
for 50, to be honest, still got slapped around.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still rock up to trials the next season when they change the power cap and still do okay if you've hit the pinnacle power this season.
Yeah.
And it's just another kind of box to check. And I mean, I do feel sorry for people like the streamers and things, because I saw, I think it was Grenada Jake was showing people his Destiny item manager. He's going, I've got every weapon at 2000. I don't need to do anything anymore. And Bungie are like, hey, we've got you covered. You now need to go up to 2010. It's like, yeah, just because.
Yeah, and yeah, like what is it? I mean, what does it get you? It's and that's sort of why I asked. Like, I'm sitting here sort of the forever 29. I'm going. I have a handful of 2000. I may have a full armor set at 2000 now, but like for the most part, I'm at 1999, and I just haven't really worried about it because again, I don't feel like I'm lagging behind anything. My artifact is at 17. I'm sitting here going, yeah, I don't feel like when we did the GM the other night or the other day, I was like, I don't feel like I'm lagging behind. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't feel underpowered. It's just
because you're at the highest level of the players in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't need. Yeah. Like and I love that mechanic. I love. Because, I mean, I think back to all the times we ran, you can Volta class in D1, dragging somebody woefully under light through going, you sit here in the Titan bubble. If anyone comes to bother you, shout, we'll come and help you. Just dragging people through that just, there's no, they could not do damage. Or, the time we ran GMs and higher level Nightfalls and just dragging some, blueberry through or someone who joined us through because they were just woefully under leveled. And I think that's the best change Bungie made. Given their goal of, hey, we want you to be able to play with anyone, everyone, wherever they are. we don't want to bring a new player to the game and say, okay, well, here's your 40-hour a week schedule for the next 6 weeks, and then go do that. Complete that list of onboarding. Now you can go play with your friend. Now you can go do the things they're doing. I think that's a phenomenal change to say, come play the game with me. You can bring your 1900 hunter in. You may be woefully under level, but at least you'll be able to hold your own. You'll be able to live. You're not going to die every 6 seconds because you're so underpowered.
I mean, looking at the director, you've got like the Master Salvation's Edge raid is 2010, so you don't necessarily need the artifact. You could still roll in at 2000 and still do the Master raid. Nightfalls and the Master Excision, that is 2020. Now that might be a little bit harder, but again, it's just an artificial thing with our artifact. It just, I'm lost because I think the artifact should hold more kind of meaning for doing harder content. So some of the things should be a lot harder, like you were saying, Noble. Make the strikes harder. Do something else like in the Pale Heart.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does it mean that when you do the higher, harder content of Master, that it makes it harder by capping you? And if you go into a regular raid, if you were 20-30, then you would have the advantage of your light? Because that makes sense.
A regular version of the Salvation's Edge is 1945. It caps you at 1945.
It does cap you.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. That's what it means. It's all false. It's just pretend.
Well, the teams just aren't talking to each other either, because I think Destiny relies on us being able to play together. We all remember the times that we've played together more rather than alone. And there are all kinds of things that people were doing that we weren't allowed to join them in because they were in some step of their progression that we weren't in, or they had to do solo. It was antithetical to the nature of this massively multiplayer game, and it's something that New Lights were getting hammered with. So I worry for their internal communications, because I think a lot of people there agree with what we're saying, that players should be encouraged and enabled to play together.
I'm bored of seeing stuff that you've got to do solo. To be honest, I'm sick of it. Go do this. Why am I being forced to play it solo when the whole idea of the game is it's a fire team? I don't come online to play this as, what did they try and brand it as, and wanted it branded as an MMORPG FPS thing. There was a load of brandings that they tried to give it to it, weren't they? You don't come online to try and play this sort of game to play by yourself. The majority of the player base doesn't come online to play this sort of game by yourself. So why are we always being like, oh, go do it by yourself? No, nobody wants to do. No, go away with this by yourself stuff. I'm here to play with my friends and have a laugh. I'm not here to play it by myself.
Yeah, if I want to go play by myself, there's many other things I could do like that. That's I'm 100% on board with you with that, because I get the same feeling, because I've been looking recently at games to play with my wife, because it's the season get colder, we stay inside and we play video games. That's how we enjoy the winter. And I'm going, there's so many games that look phenomenal, and I watch the trailer and I'm going, there's a group of you, there's 3 or 4 of you. Certainly, I'm watching this gameplay and I'm going, oh, they're interacting, they're doing this, doing that. And then I scroll over in the Microsoft store and it's like single player. I'm going, but why? I see you there together. It's like you said, why would I get on a game requiring internet connectivity to go play in a massive multiplayer world to do things alone? It doesn't make any sense. That's not what we're here for.
And I know there's going to be some people that are going to whinge about that opinion as well, and be like, oh, well, I played this game by myself. Cool. I'm not saying that you can. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But at the end of the day, it's not what the game was aimed at, isn't the solo player. When it was in development, it wasn't aimed at a solo player. So why is it now so caught up on some solo stuff? Like, why? And why is it such a big issue that, stuff gets brought out and you can't solo it? Like when Dual Destiny first came out, there were people kicking off because they couldn't do it by themselves. Deal with it.
There is a way to find, again, I can understand with some people who are like, all my friends have left the game, whatever. At least, I appreciate them having the LFG, and I know it's not the same experience to go into Fireteam Finder or, LFG on your console or Hunter.io or any of the myriad of ways to find other people to play this game with. It's some things require a team. Some things, if you want to get them done, require a team. You're not going to a raid solo and having success. Dual Destiny, I like that they experiment. Yeah, I mean, did I enjoy Dual Destiny? No, but it's not because of it requiring two people. I'm appreciating them and I'm enjoying them experimenting more, and that's what makes me cautiously optimistic about the direction the game is going. With the nonlinear missions and things to do, I appreciate that they're getting away from the tried and true formula that we're all very tired of with the seasonal content of play a game mode until you hate it, basically. You play this a trillion times and going, hey, now go play it again. And then halfway through the season, hey, go play our seasonal content. You mean the one that I've been doing for months that you are not going to retroactively give me the credit for going and spending 600 hours in, that now I have to go do again for some sort of seasonal event? I'm hoping this sort of opens them up to just different experiences, different ways of playing this, and just gets us off the treadmill of doing the same thing over and over again. Again, cautiously optimistic, but hoping it leads to better changes in that regard.
I'm hoping for better changes because, obviously, it's not exactly a secret as the fact that I haven't enjoyed this season at all. And I do think the game is extremely stale at the moment. I am in the mass percentage of Destiny players at the minute. I'm hoping for a lot of changes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're in the majority, but I am having a good time. I'm not disappointed. I like this. I like the Choir of One. I like the mission to get it. I like the Dual Destiny. I like the Pale Heart. I like the way that they're doing the bounties. It's interesting.
But all of that and none of it is the seasonal model.
No argument.
Yeah, and that's I think where that's where the split is, and that's the thing people have said. I mean, every time we get a big expansion drop with a season, that season is particularly sort of bleh because they all the time and effort went into the year worth of the game, like the big content drop and going, hey, we have a season 2. Yeah, no one really cares about that season. It's there. We'll deal with it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy the Pale Heart too, and I was thinking about this the other day because Neomuna, I enjoy the aesthetic there, but I never go back. Sort of like Europa. Like, it's pretty. I like that it's something different in the game, but I never go back for any reason ever. There's just nothing there. But the Pale Heart I go back to because of I can go and play the activities and wander around. So it's it's low key. It doesn't require anything. I can hop in and out of it. But there's something to chase. I always have a chance to get one of the exotic marks, and that change alone gives me a reason just to go back. If I'm like, oh yeah, I've got half an hour to kill before I have to go to work, let me hop in and just roam around the Pale Heart, open some chests. Maybe I'll get a exotic class item to drop. Like having something that is worth doing, a reward that feels like a good investment on my time. Yeah, am I guaranteed to get one? No, but like my investment is low and my chance is low, and I'm perfectly happy with that. But it's a reason to go back where there's so much stuff I never collected all the figures on Neomuna, and there's stuff I've never gone back to the other planets to do because I'm like, well, I'm not going to go do it just for that because I don't care about the title or whatever that much. But there's just nothing to bring me back to those locations. There's no chase. There's no reason. And the exotic class item has given me a reason to go back into the Pale Heart. Because even, I enjoy the play space and I enjoy the activities there. But even then, I wouldn't be in there nearly as much if that chase wasn't there. And I don't know how to bottle that chase and put it into more parts of the game. But I'm hoping that there's some of that there. Tell me how. Enlighten me.
Do you remember the first year of Destiny 2? We used to have a rotation, and we had a weekly rotation that went around all the planets. And you used to go for a piece of gear that was powerful every week, and you used to have like a percentage bar. And you used to have to go. You used to have to do like public events, patrols, whatever, lost sectors, and that used to award you every week. If every week they took those exotic class items and they rotated them around your planets, it would encourage you to go back to those planets. It'd give you something to go and collect those, like the action figures from Neo Moona. Oh, well, you know, I'll pick that action figure up because, you know, I'm here anyway. I'm just doing this. I'll pick that penguin up from, oh God, what do you call that other one?
Europa.
I'll pick the penguin up from Europa because I'm here doing this for the exotic class item. So if they were to put a guaranteed one a week in a rotating planet, it'd encourage people to go back to those planets.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I'm on Nessus is because we've had, you know, a story beat to go back to Nessus and do anything on. Like, great that I was there and left again, but yeah, no, I honestly don't remember that, but there's a lot of Year 1 Destiny I don't remember because it feels like 1,000 years ago. But yeah, I mean, that's again, something to go, some reason to go back. I mean, like I sympathize with them when they're saying, you know, we have all this content in the game that no one ever plays, or you play it once and you never go back to it. You know, when they ripped all the things out and threw all the planets into the vault the first time around, it's like, well, you know, give us a reason to go back there. You know, you've built all these play spaces. You know, just like the lack, you know, goes back to the lack of investment in PvP going, you know, the absolute abandonment of Gambit going, you gave us these 3 core, you know, quote unquote core things to do in the game, and then you just didn't invest in 2 of them at all for months, and then said, hey, the house has fallen down. Why don't you guys like the house we built you? Because you abandoned the house. You're now a slumlord, and I'm living in squalor over here. Of course I'm not. This should be obvious. That's why.
I'm hoping, because I'm trying to find it now, but I'm hoping that at least Demon remembers the fact that you used to go around the planets weekly to do something. I always remember it because it was always really annoying when it was. I haven't forgotten the name of this one now. The one where the Trials of Osiris ends. There's a lighthouse on it and
Mercury.
Thank you. It was always really annoying when it was Mercury because there was only that one public event that used to spawn in the middle, so it used to take you ages to do it. And I'm like I say, I'm hoping that Demon remembers that so that I don't sound like a weirdo when I'm saying it. But yeah, I can't even find it online for what they used to actually call it.
Oh, that's I did the same thing trying to figure out what words, what incantation can I put into the search box to find this? Because I'm sure it happened. There's so much of Destiny stuff, but it's so hard to go back and find all the information about this game.
Yeah. I mean, that disappeared before we got rid of planetary rewards and tokens. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, come on, what did we call it?
Yeah. But again, I mean, I'm with you. Like, you know, give me a reason to go chase. Give me a reason to go back to things. Like, that sounds phenomenal.
And like I say, you know, it would give you a reason to go back to those planets. It would give you a reason to go around and be like, right, okay, well, I can get, you know, like those collectibles that you say that you'd never get them anyway. You'd still ignore them because it's you. But it would give some people a reason to go back and be like, I will get that while I'm here because I'm here. And I'm getting my exotic class item.
Yeah. If I stumble across it, I'm going to collect it. I'm not going to turn it down. I mean, that's how I find a lot of these things anyway. I'm going, oh, look, there's a figure over here. Oh, yeah, there's a penguin in this corner. Yeah. And then if I see it, I'll go, oh, wait, okay, well, it's behind a wall. What do I need to do to open this door to get to this penguin? Yeah, again, and there was a time where I was absolutely fully invested and I had the time in the game to say, no, I'm going to find every last figure. I'm going to find every last thing. I'm going to find every collectible, everything. I'm going to max out my seasonal title every season. I'm going to, you know, suck the marrow out of this game.
Yep.
And that time is just not there. Or I should say the time and not just the time, but the time with other people to play the game with is just not there anymore. So, you know, there's so many things I could go collect, but again, there's just the reason to go collect them is not there.
Yeah, the drive's missing.
So we've made it this far in. And now I'm going to send up the flare because it's Titans Week in Destiny now. And if this doesn't bring a screaming Master Rager into the chat, I don't know what will.
His ears are already burning.
You have to pick an emoji for this week. There has to be something really obnoxious.
Definitely. So we're going to try the Beetlejuice method. Titan, Titan, Titan. And see what happens. Because, hey, I can't remember who it was this week going, hey guys, Bungie remembered Titans exist in the game. And we'd like to do more than just consecration. And that's it. We allegedly have another skill set. We have choices, I hear. Like I've heard rumor of this, and I remember back in the Dark Ages where we called this fun, that there were other things we could do and play than like the one loadout that everyone says you should run because it's the one loadout. And Bungie remembers too. So, hey, they harken back to, when they told us about remembering Titans existed, and they have a sandbox team that they're going to, tell us all about the ability changes, focusing on Titans. But remember, all of our guardians are perfect. All of our guardians are perfect, equally loved, whether you wear shoulder pads the size of a stadium, OU glimmer that you know is lost forever, or they lecture you about Vex portals on your way to Europa. Bungie loves everyone. But right now they're going to love Titans.
Well, Exhibit A, Titans in quotations. Titans are the bulwarks of their fire team, end quotes. This is Exhibit A for all of us hunters who are outraged. Outraged! I'm screaming now. Because it's not fair. Sorry. Best I could do.
This is the calmest outrage I've ever known.
Much of a screamer.
Peroty, I'm going to need you to enter the chat like you entered the chat to me last week when you felt some sort of way about some sort of summit.
Ugh.
And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take up the mantle because that was excellent.
Yeah, but those were different ways to feel about different things. I feel, and I'm still cautiously optimistic about these things. So I guess we should tell the people what these things are. But they're going to give us a little tease now. Hey, now that the prismatic subclasses has some time to bake and adjust, they've collected a mixture of player feedback and game data about abilities across the sandbox, and have ability changes coming for both prismatic and the non-prismatic subclasses alike. So we're gonna cover most of the season ability changes in this write-up, but there will be full patch notes when Revenant launches, meaning they're gonna sprinkle a bunch of other things in there that they didn't tell us about that we get to find out then, which is half the fun. So today we're gonna focus on the Titan class identity reinforcement, super ability changes, and just general ability tuning. Because again, going, hey, we've got 3 classes. We'd really like you all to play Hunter. If you guys could just play Hunter, that would make us really happy. The Warlock has a big risk and reward. You're either going to be massively overpowered, or we're going to nerf you into the ground. There really is no middle ground. And Titans are the gambit of Destiny, going, we accept that you're here, we remember you periodically, but we're just really not that interested. So we are now getting our Titan strike team to go, hey, we're going to remember you exist and do things. So like Blue said, Titans are the bulwark of the fire team, live and die on the front line of battle, barking out orders, never backing down from an encounter. They wield defensive stables like the Barricade and Stasis Crystals with practiced ease, specialize in doing the life-saving buffs like Void Overshield and Wolf of Mail to their grateful fire teams, and they throw a mean right hook to boot. But we deserve a class identity that is more than just the sum of its fists. And we've heard you. The cries for more depth of Titan gameplay and more viability in high-tier endgame content. And they agree with us. I would certainly hope so after 6 people got through the raid that were Titans because they all gave up because Titans. Titans have so much more to give than just blunt force trauma. They're frontliners, damage mitigators, battlefield commanders. Now, we don't want to take away from what Titans already have, consecration. Instead, we want to find non-destructive ways to add depth to the Titans kit. So here's what they're going to do. So starting in Revenant, we're testing changes to Barricade and other shields to give the Titans more of a traditional tank role. So your Titan barricade now taunts enemies in front of the barricade. The taunt only occurs when there's a player standing behind the barricade, which again, sell me a pack. Let me have it actually verbally taunt enemies. I'm hoping beyond hope that it will actually have some sort of audible taunt that it does in game. I know it's not going to, but I really hope that it does.
These have 3 French Renaissance soldiers with pointy helmets behind it, just hurling insults.
That's the emote I need. That's the emote I need when I deploy my barricade. Bungie, get on it. So for the first time, Titan players can use their defensive ability to draw fire, thereby shielding their fire team from harm. The Titan's Unbreakable Shield and Sentinel Shield Guard will also taunt enemies, so you can taunt enemies on the go and become a mobile aggro magnet. If this change plays well, they're hoping to add the functionality to more of the defensive abilities, such as your Ward of Dawn in the future. Going, hey, here's a bubble, now everybody shoot it. Also, please buff the bubble so it can sustain the damage it's going to take. Please and thank you.
That would be nice.
Would be. So, the barricade taunt doesn't turn the enemies into mindless zombies. If the enemy's on a mission, they still may prioritize that over the barricade. But basically, general ads, they're going to look at the barricade and go, ooh, look over there, let's go shoot that guy. So basically, they're saying, like if somebody sort of has a path they're going down, if there's a Vex Wyvern and its directive is to march toward a conflux, it's probably going to continue marching toward that conflux. Or the Cabal Legionary desperately trying to bring down a Guardian out of their super, they're still going to do that. It's not going to pull everyone's attention on the battlefield and say, look at the Titan over there. So you can't just go set it up at the raid in the corner and have everybody go, look at that guy while the rest of you hurl damage across the boss. Just maybe all the ads will go over there and look at that guy in the corner. So to support the Titan's new aggro lifestyle, they've made some adjustments to the barricade in Unbreakable. So your Towering Barricade and Rally Barricade across all the subclasses, reduce non-boss combatant damage dealt to the barricade by 50%, increase splash damage, gosh, let's see if I can give Knight even a decent cut of this sentence, increased splash damage reduction from combatants for players behind the barricade from 20 to 60%.
No, it's all staying in.
Perfect. Barricades now grant moderate damage resistance versus combatants during cast animation. That last one honestly kind of almost makes me the most excited, because the number of times I've been killed mid-animation trying to throw a barricade down to get the buff or to block the damage. There's an entire highlight reel of number of times I've been murdered. So for Unbreakable, your damage blocked by Unbreakable now generates grenade energy. Increase your max duration the shield can be held. Forward movement speed now slows briefly when the shield is shot. Reduced Unbreakable's throw attack damage versus players, so PvP, by 20%. But increase the damage bleed through from players by 15%. So a little worse in PvP, a little better in PvE. And your fully charged Unbreakable attacks will now one-shot barricades in PvP, except when the barricade is under the effect of the Heart of Inmost Light.
Yeah, I mean, that's all good stuff, and they've got aggro working. In Onslaught, I was thinking, like, why can't I, as a Titan, aggravate somebody as much as this little robot that's got? So
someone has to take the mantle over from Sleeperbot or Sweeperbot.
You got it right the first time,
right? So while we're here on Unbreakable and Titans, we should mention the Void Overshield. This is a staple of the Sentinel kit. We think it could use a little help in PvE to compete with the other damage mitigators. So they're going to increase the Void Overshield PvE damage resistance from 50 to 70%, and increase the maximum effective hit points from 90 to 150. As someone who crutched on throwing the barricade down and getting the Void Overshield many, many times in this game, love it. This makes me happy. This is reason to go back from a Prismatic to Void again.
And then make them all explode.
Exactly. So those are our non-prismatic things. So next up, we're going to head over to Prismatic Titanland. It's going to inherit all of those changes to Barricade, Unbreakable, and Sentinel Shield that we've already talked about, since those are all part of the Titan class Prismatic options. So these changes are global, meaning they'll apply both to the standard class abilities and the Prismatic versions. So all these things I'm about to read, you can use it in Prismatic or in the class where you can use it natively. So Consecration, Prismatic or Solar. Scorch and Slam waves now shatter stasis crystals. Which I swear, every single week when they release a patch note or a TWAB, somebody is in the comments going, are you going to fix this? The fact that, you can use Consecration, but it doesn't shatter stasis crystals? So now it finally will. Your Diamond Lance, throw or slam Diamond Lances will now shatter stasis crystals. Slamming a Diamond Lance will now grant you and nearby allies 2 stacks of Frost Armor. And change the weapon HUD tray. Tell you how many seconds are left before your Diamond Lance disappears, like a Tangle. So that's nice. If you're running around with one, you know how long you have to use it before it disappears. Little quality of life changes. Tell me about the game.
Yeah.
Knockout melee kills will now cancel health and shield stun in addition to healing, allowing you to immediately start regenerating. So note this is a revert of a previous nerf that had too much of a negative impact on PvE. So making knockout good again. Perfect. Your Shiver Strike now attaches stasis explosives to the target on impact. The detonation slows players and freezes combatants. It refunds 80% of your melee energy on a whiff, increases your energy recharge rate by 12.5%, increased the recharge rate by 12.5%, and immediately after landing a Shiver Strike attack, the attacker's melee ability is now suppressed for half a second. So I can punch you with my Ice Fist. I can slap an explosive on you that slows you. If I miss, I get 80% of my energy back, and I get an increased recharge rate so I can punch you again, and you can't even punch me back for half a second? I can be a drunken toddler with some power. Now,
it's the attacker's ability that's stunned for half a second, so you can't, left, right.
Oh, indeed, yes. Thank you. Reading is fundamental. So I can't just wail on you a number of times. Now what I'm hoping is buried somewhere in these patch notes is we've also corrected the aiming of your melees. So when I do go to Shiver Strike you or punch you, I'll actually hit the thing I'm trying to hit and not way off in another direction.
Stop it. You want hit registration as well?
That's the word.
Wow.
I would like hit registration. Honestly, I would trade a number of these things for a line that just says, hit registration works now. But hey, I'm not going to be too greedy. I'll take what I can get.
It's working somehow. It targets so hard on the thing that's not there. I mean, it really is going after something.
Hit registration for a Titan's melee is probably about as useful as the tracking on a Nova Bomb in PvP. I threw a Nova Bomb in PvP as a Warlock and watched it float off into the sky like a balloon. It's ridiculous. And yep, I feel like the hit registration of those is just about as good.
Listen, it's just desperately looking for the socks in the dryer. Nova Bomb just wants to be back with the socks in the dryer. That's all it's looking for. That's just what it's trying to get back to. So now, while these are not specifically Prismatic Titan only options, they felt how the nerf to most of the Facet of Command's cooldowns was moved to 11 seconds feeling too long. So they've reduced the cooldowns on both the Facet of Command and the Echo of Domineering from 11 seconds to 4 seconds. And I'm sure all of you are out there thinking, I know exactly what those things are. So your Facet of Command is your Prismatic Fragment. Freezing or suppressing a target reloads your equipped weapons and increases weapon stability, aim assist, and airborne effectiveness. Defeating frozen or suppressed targets creates a stasis shard or a void breach. And your Echo of Domineering is a void fragment. Upon suppressing an enemy, refills readied weapons from reserves, grants 30 to mobility for 10 seconds, increases forward movement speed by 4% for 10 seconds. There's a 10-second cooldown between the activations, and killing suppressed enemies spawn a void breach. So both of those things used to have an 11-second cooldown, now it has a 4-second cooldown. So that seems better. We like that. As the Titan train approaches its final destination, there's more to Titans than brute force, but at the same time, one of the pillars is punching things in the face. So they should punch harder than other classes, right? Right? Well, we're increasing the Titan's unpowered melee to be more powerful than the Hunter or Warlock's unpowered melees. We're increasing the likelihood of the Titan's unpowered melee will stun an enemy combatant as well. So the unpowered, now again, unpowered melee, not your fancy one, not the one with the bar. After you use that one, the unpowered melee increasing damage against players by 5%, so small little boost. Increasing damage against PvE combatants by 20%, and increase the stun multiplier by some unknown number that someone who does some testing will tell us about.
So what you're telling me is that once again, the Skull Fort's going to be running around in PvP, shoulder charging hunters to death and giggling. That's what you think is fair? You think that's fair?
No, because the shoulder charge is a power melee. This is the unpowered melee.
Like the Strand one that we have 3 of.
Ooh, that's nice.
Just saying.
But those won't be hitting anything anyway, so it won't matter. It's impossible to hit somebody with the Strand melee. It simply can't be done.
No, you're thinking Stasis. Strand blades.
No, I'm thinking Crab Claws. Yeah, no, you can't hit anybody with those. That melee has negative hit registration. I'm convinced.
I killed myself with that as much as I killed other things.
I'm convinced there is something in that melee that says you want to melee that thing in front of you. We're going to go at least 90 degrees in the other direction. At the very
targeting
least.
Something. It's going after it so hard.
Yeah. It's really, it's probably the Nova Bomb. It's probably that Nova Bomb that Noble has shot off into the distance with the socks in the dryer. Wherever those live, that's what it's targeting. So
great.
Yeah. So those are our Titan changes. We've gone from having tiny T-Rex arms now to beefy, powerful T-Rex arms. I guess we'll see. If this, moves the needle at all or makes meleeing feel useful. Because I feel like I get out-slapped fight by people in PvP all the time, and I'll take my 5%. I'll take any little bit I can in a stun multiplier. But I'm most excited to use it in PvE, of course. I'm most excited for this to be a useful thing. Especially if I can, pair it with other things going. I can power melee, I can unpower melee. I can make a party of it.
Absolutely going into PvP week 1 in case it's overtuned.
Right.
Slap around some warlocks. That'll be great.
That was my other thought. Somewhere in what I've just read is going to be massively broken because something in this Jenga tower of code is going to absolutely go, well, we gave your Diamond Lance Nova Bomb powers somehow. It actually just makes a crater in the map when you throw it.
Yeah. There wasn't supposed to be a comma in that number. But it turns out it's 3 digits larger than we meant it to be.
By 5%, we actually meant 500%. Whoops, we're gonna fix that. Yeah, so I'm again cautiously optimistic. I'm happy to at least see there being some attention paid to the rest of the Titan kit because it really feels like, hey, go run the one thing, or you could do other things, but I don't know why you would. But Bungie loves all of its children, all of us, like the Warlocks, who they're going to grant unlimited power to. So we're dedicating some time in the release and the future releases to deliver on the power of the ultimate expression of the Guardian's power, your super abilities. So for this release, we've primarily focused on making certain roaming supers feel better, particularly in terms of survivability. So for the Warlock Storm Trance, they're increasing your damage resistance from 53% to 58%. I would like that to go to like 80%, because I feel like I just get killed in Storm Trance all the time, but here we are. Chaos Reach increases the damage resistance from 45 to 55%. They also fixed issues where the Chaos Reach would not jolt at higher frame rates, and an issue where the Chaos Reach would not go through the Sentinel Shield Guard or the Titan's Barricade. And inevitably, it will probably start going through the map again and hitting you through walls into the next map over like it was before. So I'm excited for that change to happen. Your Nova Warp, which is certainly a thing you could do, increases PvE damage by 20%. Increase your damage resistance, same as your Storm Trance, 51 to 58 versus 53 to 58. So though both Storm Trance and Nova Warp will both have a 58% damage resistance after this change. And any Nova Warp detonation applies volatile regardless of charge duration. So you blow things up, everybody gets a detonator around their chest. Everyone. For Hunters, which, again, Bungie loves all of you. Hunters, your Golden Gun Marksman and Deadshot increase the damage against base, elite, and mini-boss combatants by 30%. And Spectral Blades increase PvE damage by 20% and damage resistance from 47 to 58%. Who wants to take a guess if 58% is the damage resistance of a lot of the supers in this game? And that's where we're all moving things towards?
You're good at math.
I'm good at reading numbers.
He's definitely better than me.
And Titans, Glacial Quake, your Howl of the Storm can now be used while Glacial Quake is active, which is the Howl of the Storm is your stasis aspect when sliding. Activating your charge melee ability launches a wave of stasis energy forward that freezes targets and creates stasis crystals. So it's Frozen Consecration. So you can now do Frozen Consecration while you're in your super. Twilight Arsenal, thrown axe projectiles more consistently track toward the object closer to the reticle.
Revolutionary concept.
Speaking of registration and detection of things, if you target someone, the axe might go closer to where you've actually targeted, and increase the Twilight Arsenal's axe relic weapon damage versus combatants by 23%. So PvE only, lovely. Again, in Iron Banner this week, I've thrown a handful of axes. Definitely had a guy who was definitely standing there after the fact with the axe next to him, and I'm going, but I threw that at you. You should be dead. And he was not. So I am pleased with this change. Thunder Crash increased detonation damage by 33%, or 333%, 3033%. We'll see what it turns out to be, but 33% is what they're telling us. Fist of Havoc, you'll never guess where our damage resistance is going to. Never. From 51 to 58%.
You're a magician.
Change how the light attack works under the hood to improve consistency in hitting targets. So maybe, just maybe, hit registration, Fist of Havoc, maybe, and slightly increase the lunge range and ability to target enemies vertically. But just slightly. So those are the super changes coming. For Act 2 of Revenant, we're investigating increasing the roaming super uptime so they're more available. Stay tuned for that. So, good changes, happy changes. Are we happy? Are we sad? We don't have a hunter to scream about how the Titans got all the buffs, so enjoy your peace and quiet.
Hunters and Warlocks could both look at this and not be encouraged. I don't know that either's feeling particularly overpowered right now from within. So yeah, they're probably wondering what the hell's going on. It's strange, they usually do balancing across everything.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, Blue, is that the Titans have been out of balance for quite some time, and it's been one of those kind of things where we're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, and now we've got round to actually kind of balancing them back into band with the other two classes, because the other two classes came into the final shape really hot, really overpowered, and they've kept them at that slightly. I mean, the Hunters have had a slight nerf, but the Titans were completely underpowered, and they did need to be brought up. So hopefully this will bring them in line and not push them over the top. Although, given the history of Bungie and this game, I'm not holding my breath for it.
On paper, it looks good.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's about time that, Titans actually were useful again, because they've just been lackluster for quite a while now.
Yeah, the content that I'm doing, the Titans seem to be humming right along. I definitely remember, though, in the raid that people had to walk away from their favorite class to be able to finish. That was a thing.
I think the biggest issue, though, comes from healing on all classes. So seeing overshields and whatnot getting changed is going to be good.
Yeah, I'm happy just and I know people are playing more than just Consecration and whatever, but it does feel like it's, every build just seems to be throw the hammer, use Consecration, rinse and repeat, which just feels really stale at this point. So I'm happy just to have what hopefully will feel like more viable options, especially married to the, the idea of the Titan being sort of the tank class and being able to taunt people, and hey, I can taunt people and lure, increase the aggro, get people to come toward me, and then demolish them, and then go, all right, now that you're here, now that I've set you up, now I can finish you off with this, or now I can, I can draw some aggro, but then, peace out, and then, allow my team to get that healing they need, or, hop behind the barricade for a minute, and honestly, use the barricade again, because I've been doing, I don't do a ton of high-level content unless I'm with one of you two, honestly, But like I've been using the thrusters for so long, I haven't really gone back to the barricade because the mobility that provides, I often feel like is better than, hey, I can throw a barricade up and maybe it'll give me this, but I don't really need the barricade. So just having sort of a reason to put it back on again. And again, I'm sure there's people going, you're not using your barricade, what's wrong with you? But I really haven't in quite a while, because between the thrusters and throwing the tangle up when I use them, gives me that little taste of hunter dodge and leaving a little treat behind with the Dranger Slash aspect. It's been too much fun to have a little more of a mobile Titan. So, give me a class ability to build into of I'm going to stand and deliver is exciting to me. Like it feels like, giving them an identity again and not just going, we're going to give every class sort of the same toolkit and have fun. There's no real reason to, build into this or use that. I'm hoping this is sort of triggering a bigger move back from like, we're going to give everybody everything to, we're going to give you a reason to play these. We're going to actually give you a reason to go and play this class versus that class because you can build into certain things that other classes can't really do.
Well, yeah, I can see a theme in this TWAB about, reasons to do things. Why would you do a Lost Sector? What rewards would you get for Nightfalls? How would you get your weapons? Maybe they're onto it. Hopefully it's a good thing. A trend I can support.
One can hope. Let's see. So for both Stormcallers and Prismatic Warlocks, let's see. We've got Space Lightning and Sharp Knives. We don't want to forget the Space Lightning or the Sharp Knives, because that would just be sad. For your Stormcallers and your Prismatic Warlocks, they want to increase the usability of Lightning Surge. So to support this, we're making two changes to it. The Warlock's casting Lightning Surge now has a 50% damage resistance versus Titan Barricades during the lunge, and casting Lightning Surge also makes you amplified. So so the Lightning Surge is basically that's the Warlock's Consecration. That's the I'm going to slide on the ground and call down lightning as a melee. So being able to have more resistance going through a Titan Barricade makes that much more interesting, I think, and viable in PvP. Because I think they made a change a while back to actually give you more damage when you run through a Titan Barricade, because I felt like it would do nothing for a while. So I like the fact that if I'm going to build into this, because that's a build that Astrocross showed me me and us many months ago, many seasons ago, going, you can run this in trials and pair this with your Dead Messenger and Lightning Surge, and then follow it up with a Waveframe Grenade, and you can have some good fun with that. So good to see that getting some love. Let's see. And then since the launch of the final shape, your Prismatic Hunter has been both highly used and a highly effective subclass. According to our data, we've made some PvP-focused changes to the Prismatic Hunter ability during the past season, and they're going to continue just to keep tabs on the Hunters, just to make sure that, we make them just unhappy enough that they rage in the comments, but don't actually stop playing the game. That's the sweet spot. So we're going to make some changes to these abilities. The Hailfire, Spike, Prismatic Grenade, adding projectile tracking and aim assist to increase consistency in hitting targets. Oh, so again, a little bit of hit registration, Bungie? Is that what I'm hearing? Throwing things at something and actually going where you throw it? Your Swarm Grenades. The submunitions are now easier for players to shoot down, and the Swarm Grenade submunitions can now chain detonate other submunitions when destroyed. So again, just sort of nerfing the Swarm Grenades a little bit more because there's a lot of Swarm Grenading. The Threaded Spectre, increasing the detonation damage against PvE combatants by 33%, because it should still be very viable there. And I know that's one thing Respawn was saying is you've nerfed it across the board, and now what am I doing with it in PvP or PvE? So bringing that back up again to be more useful. This is where I flail and go, Hunters, there's lots of words. These mean things. And on the PvE side, the Hunter's combination blow melee in particular has been a little too hot, so they're making some changes to make it more about damage than survivability. So your combination blow, they've rescaled the healing from a flat 80 hit points per kill to a scale of between 40 and 100 per kill based on your stat count. So it can give you 40, 60, 80, or 100 per kill based on the count. No longer clears health and shield stun on a kill. And they remove the 1.5 second internal cooldown on healing. So it heals you faster, but it's on 80 across the board. It's a risk reward of between 40 and 100. And yeah. So again, just a little more risk and reward to use, not just do this, you get 80 hit points every single time. Which again is sort of the trend Bungie is going of. You need to sort of build into a thing. We're not just going to give you it for free. And that's all the changes they have to share with us. They'll monitor these things. They have more changes in the future. All the nice things.
I'm sure if Respawn remembers next week and he's back, that he'll have some things to say about it. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to all the different changes because it does change things up.
Yeah, he'll be back probably next week to tell us all the ways we're wrong. Yeah. And the hunters are being absolutely gutted, and that Bungie loves Titans, and that's why they've given them all the love and are nerfing the hunters. So that's your calm and measured response to the screaming you'll hear in the future from everybody else who's also going to scream about it. But it's I mean, I'm happy to see. Honestly, I'm happy to see the Warlock changes too, because like like Nova Warp and Lightning or Storm Trance both. I always I don't use them that often because especially I haven't played my Warlock much this season. But every time I use them, I always think they're going to be good, and they just always feel too weak. They always feel like I can cast this and then just get murdered at it. And I'm talking mostly in PvE. In PvP, I just assume I'm going to get killed by everybody anyway. But PvE, I'm like, I can Storm Trance, I can Chain Lightning, I can do this and have this power fantasy, and then it just does not feel strong enough. So hopefully that'll help move the needle there and just make it a little more viable. And it's interesting, sort of again, seeing the we're kind of bringing all these numbers, clearly to 58% to kind of where we'd like them to be, and maybe that's maybe it's we're bringing things up to match where other supers are, or that's just a number that they looked at testing and said, hey, if we bring these up to this, it'll sort of make things more balanced and viable, which is certainly a thing. I just I'm the balance of all this stuff is always just like, does it need to be balanced, or can something be a little bit better than others? But at least in the PvE side. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the changes.
And somebody who's played tank and healer classes since they became defined in multiplayer games, everybody loves a tank. Tanks are helping everybody be successful, and it could be, they can leverage that, niche, because if you can give a hunter the top number in DPS, then all other sins are forgiven.
Yeah, I mean, Bungie goes back and forth between the, we want to give the class an ability, we want to give you a reason to play this and spec into this, and then everybody should be the same. Everybody should have the same tools. And I like the game more when there is more of a defined role of going, I'm going to play the Titan. Here's what I want to play. I'm going to play the Warlock. Hey, I want to play that support or healer class or whatever. I like there being a more defined role for these characters, for these classes. It's it's almost like if you were to start playing the game now, how would you sort of explain to someone there's sort of a difference, but there's a lot of crossover and you're starting from scratch. So it's, I don't know, it feels murkier. Whereas we all started playing D1 going, here are the three classes that were very well defined and very well hey, if this is your play style, this is what you want to reach for. And I think just doing that is just going to help, again, get people into the game too, going, instead of having, three classes that's, they're different names and they got some different abilities, but that's kind of all largely the same. Just giving people more of an identity and giving people more who have come from more typical MMOs with those sort of defined roles going, in WoW, I play this. So therefore in Destiny, this is my, this is sort of the analog to that. Yeah, it's not the same, but it at least gives you a starting point.
It's getting there. Have any of you played that healer Warlock build? You have that new helmet and the auto rifle that throws healing out?
No, but it's on my list too. It's something I thought I would, but I've just neglected my poor Warlock this season. Yeah, it looks really good.
I keep meaning to, like you say, but just I haven't.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. When somebody's, they're in a pitched battle and you can just hurl their health over to them. It's fun with blueberries when can almost see the surprise. Like they're trying to figure out how they're going to survive this, and they're like, "Wait a second, I'm not even hurt."
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's one of the things I love about this game, when you can have those moments, and I feel like that's just been missing. Having those moments of surprise and those moments of delight. Like, yeah, like I love being able to, I'm running a Nightfall with blueberries, and I can run up behind him and toss that void overshield barricade down. Be like, hold on, I got you. Let me toss this down. Let me give you that burst of healing. And I'm really excited to be like, let me toss this barricade down. Let me draw the aggro. Hey, let me, let me lure all the enemies over here. Now they're trapped in here with me. Now I can wipe them out. Hey, go invisible, pop over, get your overshield, pop back out to where you are. Let me stand here and draw the aggro while you go pour damage from over there. Like I'm the possibilities in my head of where this could go excites me, which kind of feels good because I don't know. Everything has felt very much like, here is the option you have. You're going to go play this option. I don't know. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. I'm feeling excitement, I think is the feeling I'm feeling. So weird having moments of silence and space and not screaming or stories about airplanes.
I haven't got the timing down yet. Most of the time I'm speaking right over you, so
nah, it's all good.
Practice.
That's on brand. That is on brand. Speak over the top of people. And then when somebody goes to start saying something, you speak over the top of them.
Preface it with a cough, though. It's
right
very
now.
important.
Yeah.
What I meant to say, I'm not disappointed. I'm happy with where it is, and I'm looking forward to changes they're proposing.
So have you pre-ordered your Ace of Spades?
Oh, the Nerf gun. The closest I ever got was with the Gjallarhorn. That was very tempting.
I haven't pre-ordered Ace of Spades. I was tempted though, just because it's a hand card. I like hand cannons as it is, and I was tempted to pre-order the Ace, but I talked myself out of it based on the fact that I don't even like Cade.
Oh, that will not stand, sir.
That's just some absolute slander. Now you're fine in that he'll never hear you say that, but that's absolutely slander. Someone should clip that and send that to Respawn so he can enjoy that.
If only we had that technology.
Yeah, I'm curious too. There, since hey, we worked with our buddies over at Nerf to do this thing, and then the artist whose art was used by Nerf to make these is basically going, this is my drawing that was used as the basis for this, which Bungie has said. I was sort of hoping there'd be at least a little line in here about that.
Oh, how they actually did the thing they said they were.
Yeah. I mean, so they have reach out to Nerf, reach out to the artist and gone, yeah, no, this does appear to be your artwork. That, and again, I don't. People love to scream on the internet about everything. Like, I can't necessarily blame Bungie for this one. If this is Nerf, if this is Nerf going, hey, we sourced the artwork from somewhere, we either knowingly or unknowingly use someone's art that we didn't give credit for, or if Bungie was like, hey, here's some art we can use, then it falls on their head to do their due diligence. But at least it seems like they're making it right, working with the artist, going, yeah, no, this is yours. We're going to look into how this happened.
I guarantee that Bungie just sent it to him. There's just 100% guarantee that they got 3D art from Bungie that Bungie didn't credit. But my favorite podcast said that they had worked out a resolution for it. You're telling me that 2 Titans and a Hunter was wrong last week?
Well, I mean, that's the last thing they sort of have said is like, hey, we're talking with the artist, we're talking with Nerf, we're going to get to the bottom of this, and again, they don't owe us all a response, but it'd be nice if they had some, even just the single line about, hey, okay, and I'm an idiot and just didn't read down. We would also like to acknowledge and credit Tofu Rabbit for their art, which was used in the creation of Blaster Replica's design. So that was my version of Respawn going, I wish they'd do this, and then I scroll down to the picture, and they did do that. So I take it all back. 19, we can just chop all of this out, but you're not going to, and that's fine. So Tofu Bunny did get credit, for the original artwork, and there is, they link to the tweet where it's literally like, hey, this is my art from 2015, this is the Nerf from 2024, and there's just some very striking similarities about how this was put together. It's like these are, they lightened it, they darkened it, but there's some very obvious things and going, no, this is not a oh, it's just similar. No, this is the same piece of art.
Yeah. To be fair though, there was also the other guy that had his artwork used as well, and he said, yeah, that's really good, I'm really glad that you sorted that out. Do you fancy sorting mine out as well?
Yeah. There was another artist who had witness artwork used and was like, hey guys, it's been a year and I haven't heard from you all about, getting paid for that artwork. I did see Cosmo in the comments of that one going, hey, sorry about that. Hey, I sent you a DM, I've reached out to you and let's get this sorted. Which, and again, I have to wonder, did one of the people you lay off when you go to the community team maybe was responsible for following up on some of these things?
Follow through.
Yeah, follow through, not even once. But yeah, so I mean, at least those two seem to be getting sorted. But yeah, like Bungie, pay your artists. If you're using artwork, I don't care if they work for you or if it's things, people deserve to get paid. It's hard out here for artists and creators. You should pay them. But yeah, hopefully it's getting sorted, and hopefully for Rabbit is getting some, monetary thanks in addition to just a, hey, thank you for this. So
actually getting an emblem.
Guy doesn't even play the game.
The emblem,
give him an emblem.
Let me just see now. Now let me go. Now that I've pulled a full, hey, we should do this, and didn't just read further down. Okay, yeah. So September 13th, Tofu Rabbit. Happy to finally retweet this. I want to say once again, people at Bungie, and especially the community manager who contacted me, have been incredibly nice and professional. To everyone who helped getting the word out to the right people, thank you. So at least they seem like they've gotten a, resolution to this, and hopefully, again, there's some money that came along with it, not just a thank you for this. But, at least, hey, it was brought to the attention and got in front of Bungie, and, hopefully it's ended up right. Yeah, because artists should be paid for their work.
Yeah. Even those cutscenes that ruthlessly pass.
Hey, some of them I watch, some of them I'm with Pan and don't get to watch. That's what YouTube is for. We go there and we see, so what is this story I've been playing? Who are you people? And why is Saint 14 having a mental breakdown?
And buyer beware. Do you know about petting the frog in the helm? You're with somebody
that is just the most amazing thing you've ever shown me.
Yeah, I did it by accident and robbed somebody of their monologue. So if there's somebody trying to talk to a fire team member in the helm and you pet your frog, it cuts the audio. So that can be a good thing if it's desired. But
so Blue's been petting his frog in the helm again. I see.
Yes.
Never stopped.
And it was amazing. So I'd watch him do that all day.
Yeah. Blue did this to me the other day, which again I was not upset about. But yeah. So if I Cora or someone is monologuing at you in the tower or in the helm, the audio will cut out, and you'll be very confused why the audio just stops mid sentence, and then Blue you'll hear this chuckle from your friend, and he'll be like, "Did your audio just die?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Sorry, I pet the frog." So if you have the frog and pet him, it kills the audio in the game. So Pan, there's another way you can prevent people from learning about the story if you just pet your frog. All you gotta do.
Remember to wear your gloves.
Always. And this is I really should report this to the help forum, because I really thought someone by now would have gone, hey, when you're trying to look at your energy or heavy weapons, it still goes
Why is that?
under the emblem at the top of the screen. So if you're going, hey, what's the name of this gun? Can't tell you, because we've hidden it under the emblem. And it would just be a nice bug to fix. It's not the end of the world, but it's just a very weird visual thing where I'm going, guys, it's 2024. If you want to get new players into the game, maybe not having very obvious visual bugs would be a good start. Just a thought.
That one's been months, right? It feels like it's been like that for
been ages. I heard that one.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I'm going, maybe I always wonder, have you seen it on a non-Xbox console? I don't know if I've asked anybody if who's anybody
PC?
on PlayStation or PC is seeing it.
I get it on PC and PlayStation.
Okay, yeah, so it's not just us.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, it just seems like a thing that's worth acknowledging. just like Destiny's first art show, which we've acknowledged. It's dropped in LA, it's going to New York, then it's going to London. Nitedemon will have a full report of it because he is excitedly planning his trip, and he has not looked at the pictures here that they've shared because he is staying pure and untainted for when he goes to see it live. So you can see all the beautiful artwork, which I'm a little jealous of because that's one thing that would really, again, while I don't need to own the merch from this game, I would love seeing, just the art and things inspired from this game out in the real world. A little more real world things. And I wish I lived closer to LA or New York or London. But I don't, and that's okay. And we have the Bungie Foundation. They're going to TwitchCon and have a bounty for good. So you two can have a nice little sunset emblem with some waves. So if you want to hang out and, catch some surf, hang out, have a good time. They got a couple of quick reminders from the Bungie Foundation. So this weekend, right now, as we're recording this, by the time you hear this, it will be over because it will no longer be this weekend. They're at TwitchCon, and they're bringing the properly themed Surf and Sun emblem with them for those in attendance. So this doesn't help us at all. But if you go to the Bungie Foundation on socials and follow their updates through the weekend, they have, things going on. On Wednesday, the 25th, on their Twitch channel, they'll be hopping into the Crucible, taking on challengers, raising money for a good cause. So another Bungie bounty going on. This month they'll be supporting their amazing partners at Child's Play, who work tirelessly to provide the pediatric patients' lives through the power of play. Squad up, take down the Bungie Foundation team, and get your hands on the Bounty of Good emblem, which is a red and blue skull emblem, which looks like good fun. So is there really no way to get the emblem if you're not going to TwitchCon, guys? Is there not a, hey, I can toss some money towards you and get a copy of the emblem? Is it really just go to TwitchCon and get this? Otherwise, no?
I mean, nothing says thank you like cash.
Yeah, I mean, I would give you cash, but I can't fly to TwitchCon to do that. So maybe we'll see them in Crucible and get another emblem. Maybe not. But we do have 10 years of Orbit music. 10 whole years. We won't remind you that they laid off their composers, but we have 10 years of music. And in this lovely video, so the video below covers the decade of Orbit music. Thank you for your enjoyment. Wise Guardians know you can right-click the video and select loop, so you don't have to worry about the video ever ending. And it comes out at a non-Deacon approved 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 41 seconds. But if you just want to sit and enjoy Orbit music all day, every day, you can just loop it forever.
That seems really sharp.
Yeah. It does. I mean, I guess those aren't, none of those individually are all that long. But yeah, I thought 1 hour 38 minutes. I was like, surely that has to be longer. I was really curious if they were going to pull like a 10 hour long video. That's kind of what I expected going. Let me give you the 10 hour cut of this, just like the 10 hour cut of people eating. The blue is going to slowly play in the background, and 19 is going to splice into the show, so you can just hear munching everywhere you go.
So sad when I suggested that.
And now we have, hey, things are broken, and we're going to fix them with a player support report. So for those of you who have gone to Skywatch and been very sad about the amount of generosity you were meant to show, to alleviate the time needed to complete the accidental generosity triumph required for the legend title, enemy density in the Skywatch area of the Cosmodrome will be increased when Destiny 2 Update 8.0.5.5 arrives on Tuesday, September 24th. So if you haven't already earned your legend title and haven't already completed that, now there will be more people. Will they drop more engrams? Unclear, but there will be more enemies, so may the odds be ever in your favor.
It's still RNG.
But more people, more chances for disappointment. We aren't going to enable it for public events. We aren't going to enable it for opening the chest. We're just going to throw more enemies at you.
I know. How hard would that have been?
Too hard. Just like if you had a Solstice Forge in your inventory for some reason, due to an issue, it remained in some players' inventories despite Solstice being over. This will also be fixed on Tuesday in the same update. And that's it. Everything else is fun. Everything else is fine and beautiful. We have some art of the week if you really want to enjoy A-Tracks in 8-bit version, which
I thought that looked great.
That looks wonderful. I love pixel art. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And then we have Nezarec just being brutalized by a Titan with a Solar Master Nezarec. Poor Titan just basically consecrating Nezarec to death, just beating him up mercilessly. And then that's the end of our TWID. We'll have the launch of Revenant on October 8th. A ton of more to reveal before that date arrives. Next week, we're going to get more about the new dungeon, the new artifact perks, and changes we have planned to PvP, new rewards, and be patient while they gather all the information. And to help with that, please check out the Moodang-inspired ghost shell that someone has drawn, that Kevin Rages has drawn. So see, someone's raging out there for us.
You ever submit anything, Night Demon?
No.
We classify that under the best of intentions.
Yes, always.
And the worst of follow
swag.
through. Like every single fashion event I've ever thought about doing and then never actually followed through with.
Well, maybe I think I did once. Maybe I did once. I did the hashtag thing, and because it was you had to do the hashtag, and it goes on the forum and then gets upvoted by the community. And because mine didn't get upvoted, I'm guessing it just didn't show for anybody at the high end of, oh, let's look at this. So I think I just went, oh, I can't be bothered anymore.
Well, I'd love to know about it so I could upvote it.
Yeah,
I think you did at the time. I think we talked about it.
You should definitely do it again, and then we can all come and upvote it.
Yeah, it'd be five votes for it.
I'll be
Actually,
6
no.
or 7.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, the community these days, I might be at the top with that. It's
Yeah.
worth a go.
As we said last week, we will be the last remaining Destiny players. So we will be the ones keeping the servers online so they can't turn them off. You're going to have to kick us out of here. Yeah, and so as we sort of alluded to before, Bungie has lost all of their social media account logins this week because other than, hey, there was some maintenance, literally nothing has been said about anything. So yeah, your report roundup is they're playing other games and have gone on vacation or something. And I assume YouTube has been about the same. I can't remember anything I watched that was Destiny other than, everybody making their, oh my god, the Titans are back. Oh, massive Titan buffs. Oh, the world has changed forever. Which, we'll see. Anything, Night Team, that you've watched that we should know about, or Noble or Blue?
Really?
Yeah, he's not your YouTube guy.
Noble, I know you secretly put in 40,000 hours a week on YouTube. I know you play it off like you don't watch YouTube. I know you're there all the time. I know you're watching. I know you're actually the number one YouTube watcher in the entire world. That's my conspiracy theory.
My YouTube usage has gone through the roof recently, and it's not for myself, but the eldest has discovered YouTube contains lots and lots of like really stupid videos that she can sit and watch. So my YouTube usage is massive now, but not for the right reasons.
So I hope you understand the child controls on YouTube. Something you might want to look into again.
My child,
your child been radicalized yet?
She's absolutely fine. She listens to me on a daily basis.
No,
YouTube
sir, you need to recalibrate your thinking there.
Your threat model
of a big place, and it is not very pleasant.
So that's a no from Noble. So other than silly videos, no. Which again, my conspiracy theory remains that you watch a ton of YouTube and you just keep all the best things for yourself, and that's why you know everything.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a dearth. I am in fact a YouTube consumer, and I'm not thinking of a darn thing that I would want to direct you to. There's nothing. Old builds, all I'm looking at.
I've got two videos that, if you've got the time to watch, Above this week did his community summit that he does with a couple of other content creators. And this time he did it with Bife and Ascendant Nomad. It's about 2 hours long, but it's worth a listen to kind of see from their perspective how kind of Destiny's going. And it's from the basis of all the stuff that we got last week with the where Destiny's kind of the frontiers is kind of going. So that was a good listen to Above. My name is Bife and Ascendant Nomad. And then also I've got the Tessellation build that crushes solo content from Cool Guy that only came out last night. And that's for Warlocks. It looks really good. but you do need the tessellation, and you need the Matadoxia, which is the chess piece for the Warlocks. But it does look like a really cool build. So yeah, I could recommend those two.
Was the tessellation the weapon they shipped with the final
Yes,
shape that I don't
final
think I've
shape.
ever seen anybody ever use? Okay.
Yeah, it's the one where you consume the grenade, and
Right.
he's got it set up on a prismatic Warlock. So there are a few moving pieces and the things that you can change around. But yeah, it works really well.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I totally forgotten about the above video. I started watching that because I really like Descendant Nomad. I think I just like his whole vibe. And Bife, and I thought that was just an interesting combination.
Yeah.
I started watching it and I forgot that I wasn't watching it in a place that kept my spot, and got halfway in and said, I don't remember where I was, but
I did watch one video this week, but I got told off after watching it and leaving a comment. So I won't talk about that one.
No, we don't talk about that one. And nobody told you off. They just responded in the same way that you commented.
Yes. Made your bed, brother.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Well, I
But
have a question for the show this week, and I'm delighted that I have other people to tell me how out of touch I am about this game, and how could I not possibly know this? So I was looking, I have 3 ghost shells set up with different what's the thing called that gives you the better chances? The armorers. So I've got my recovery armor, I've got my discipline armor, I got my resilience armor. Partially to say, hey, let me move those around and give me a better chance at guaranteed high roll armor in certain specs. And I've had 3. I've had 1 for Crucible, 1 for Gambit, and 1 for Vanguard strikes, or 1 for Vanguard. And I've got all these 3 things set up, and I've just left them there forever because I'm going, okay, I have 1 ghost per activity. They're masterwork. They're whatever. They're sort of set up how I want them to be. The only real difference sort of being which armor they have on them, and then which prosperity mod I have. So like I have the prosperity Vanguard one, Vanguard playlists and strikes and nightfalls. Completions have a chance to drop an additional piece of legendary gear. So I was mucking around with one of the shells. I can't remember what I was looking for. So I was going to change it and seeing what else is in that sort of 3rd slot, because I hadn't looked in forever. And at some point, they changed the prosperity one to just be prosperity. Achieving victory in ritual activities grants a chance to drop an additional piece of legendary gear. Just across the board. So you no longer need 3 separate ghosts or 3 different mods. It's just 1 mod that works in all 3 playlists. And my question is, how long has this been in the game that I just haven't bothered to go look at? And did you know it was there either?
Yes.
Definitely knew it was there, yeah.
I think they changed it with the final shape.
I think so too.
And I think it was something that they briefly touched on in one of those long, this is what's changing in the final shape. And it's just going to be across the board. You just put the 1 mod on and it's going to be a reduced cost, because I think it used to cost something like 5 energy. And now we're reducing it down to something like 2 or 3 so that you can fit more stuff on your ghost. I think it got lost in the kind of transcript of all the fantastic things that were coming. So, yeah.
It wasn't announced, but it was there. And we knew about it, but we said we weren't going to tell you because we wanted advantage.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that my role in the show is screwing things up or being very confused about things everybody else knew about. So, I'm here for no other reason to play the role of dumb gamer guy going, did you guys know this has been here for 6,000 years?
Or, I'm the dumb gamer. Yeah, I'm the dumb gamer thing. And because I know how much we like it when people tell us how we should be playing Destiny.
Yeah.
I think that
tell us what I'm doing wrong. If you do it in a British accent, I actually internalize it better. And if you do it in a way that makes me feel like you're my dad disappointed in me, that really, really hits it home for me the best.
You've got to do a big sigh first. Yeah, one of them.
Well, with respect to which stat, the focus should be on discipline, intellect, or strength, because the top 3 are all kind of useful. And it's only about spikes for me. I don't care if it's a 69 armor. If it's all even, I don't keep it. But depending on what you want to build into, discipline, intellect, strength. You just take whatever spike you get on the top. Yeah. So you're welcome. I solved Destiny for you.
Excellent. Someone's got to. I mean, if
I like
if
the
I don't
wombo
have,
combo. Were you aware of that one? That one's critical.
which
You know
one?
about that one? It finds chests and regional materials.
Oh yes, yeah. That one apparently I've touched that slot. I just
That was the
hadn't
same
ever
time.
touched the prosperity one. Yeah, well, I just apparently had never looked at the prosperity slot at all. Just never moused over it. Never investigated. Never said what else could I put in this location. Just never did. So it's just fun to know which pieces of the game you're just like I haven't looked at that in months. Apparently, I just set it and forget it and go, oh, did you change it to make it better or worse or something? Yeah, I would never know. Set it up. I roll out. I shoot people in the face. Rinse and repeat. So somebody out there somewhere, I'm sure, is also going to go, oh, they changed that? Oh, I don't have to do this anymore? No, you don't.
And is it going to make a huge difference? No, it really isn't. The game's tons of fun. You can use any weapon you want, use any build you want, you can use any class you want. It doesn't have to be min-maxed down to the last nanometer.
You're telling me I don't have to min-max the fun out of the game? But I thought that was the whole point.
I'm sorry, I forgot what my role was here. Yes, you're a fool. Why are you even playing? You're not doing the most damage in an encounter. I don't understand. Sorry, I can't get more aggravated.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. I think we're definitely going to replace you next week with Respawn because you just haven't brought the anger and the rage and the vitriol.
No,
that we have high expectations for.
I know. Well, thanks for giving me a chance. I appreciate the opportunity.
That's all right. Your audition, yeah, we're just we'll give you a call later. We'll call you later.
We'll keep your contact on file. If there's any positions in the future, we'll be sure to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us? Oh,
I would ask Noble, but I know which questions he'd ask.
Yeah. How quickly can you leave the building?
Exactly. Here, security's here just to help you find the exit.
Yeah.
Noble, help him on the way out.
Whoa! When did I become security? Where are you, Lou?
You have the big shoulder. It's the job of the man with the big shoulder. Just like it's my job to say thank you to all our lovely patrons. One of them is even in earshot. And you know who you can't threaten with a good time? You cannot threaten Zep Orbiter K4 with a good time. We tried. We even sent people around with bats. Can't be threatened. Turns out. Absolutely not possible. The Auto Dance Troupe, they're phenomenal. The T-Rex King, Scarlet KM, Melamela, Dedicated M64, and Renard Calant. Well, I believe it was Renard Calant who had purchased the Ace of Spades and provided a picture of it, and those things are huge. As somebody else said this week, Loracker hand cannons, very large. So now I'm even more amazed that people can wield them so well in this game with their big beefy arms. And you know what you can also do with big beefy arms? Throwing more grenades. Like Golden God 1562, basically Assault, Fire Squad 1688, and Coderson 105. And then Deacon's Day 1 raid team of Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, and PP Pipe. All of our lovely patrons that I definitely didn't leave anybody out, didn't skip over anyone, and didn't slight a single person from this list. Definitely didn't include the Auto Dance Troupe or the grenade thrower or anybody on the Day 1 raid team. I definitely didn't leave any names out.
Nobble, wasn't he?
Yeah, Nobble. Yeah.
I think Mr. Win Nobel Prize. I think it was that guy.
Well, I'm used to being left out. You missed me out for weeks, and then tried telling me it's because I wasn't a Patreon.
But you're still here, right?
Yeah.
Just like Destiny, we know we need to give you a little abuse so you'll come back.
Sucker for pain.
So thank you to you as well, Mr. Grenade Thrower, Mr. Friend of the show, fan of the show, man who we tried to get to step away from the game, but he's actually physically incapable. We've checked. We actually have some doctors in the UK running some tests to try to figure it out. Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and I'm almost hesitant because it's been a little over 2-3 hours.
I'm getting a little bit nervous. So I'm going to lose 20 quid.
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna lose a bet somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cautiously say thank you for joining us. We have all Titans all the time. It's nothing but a barrel of Titans this week. Peroty, Nitedemon, Noble, and Blue Screen. Which, to be fair, they play other classes, but we're all Titans this week. This is all Titans all the time. The All Titan Week, All Titan Review. Your hunter, who so far is no one responding in real life, who is also not responding in the show this week. Suspicious. You can find the show on YouTube. You should go there. You should subscribe. You can get all the episodes, all the live streams, all the videos that will tell you everything going on this week, except for that one thing that'll be different because Bungie will change at the last second. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Find the show wherever you get your podcasts. twotitansandahunter.com will give you absolutely every show note, every link we link to, everything we talk about, every cool site, every video. If you ever want to think, hey, didn't they talk about that this week or last week or sometime in the past? It's all there. If you want to join and be in the lovely YouTube-loving presence of Noble, you can join the Outer Dance Group, Threatens with a Good Time, and throw more grenades at patreon.com/TTAH. If you're looking to feed Nitedemon and make sure he can stay within plenty of coffee and plenty of lovely biscuits and trinkets over in the UK, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. That's ko-fi.com. If you want the thrill of live action, spicy language most weekends, twitch.tv/no one responds in real life. And if you want to keep things family friendly like a proper British gentleman can, and with the added benefit of disappointed dad sighs at you, twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. And we'll be back next week with a collection of characters. Maybe it'll all be warlocks. You never really know. So say goodbye, everybody.
Deuces.
Goodbye, everybody.
Say it more angry with more vitriol.
Goodbye,
Anger.
everybody. Goodbye.
And deuces.
Deuces.
That's it.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Now do that again, but rap it.
Rap it? All right, here we go.
Respawn song.
They call me Telesto, say it with Chesto, but zest for stress, test just coalesced. Conquest is blessed, will soon be repressed. Suggest you rest if you're feeling distressed. You're in a quest for the festo, at my behest. As long as you express, I'm the absolute error. Boom.
Perfect.
Dropping the mic. Blah.
Perfect.